Yes, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I wholeheartedly offer whatever suits your time zone. More importantly, Blue Morning to you. Welcome to another Blue Morning show. Welcome to another Chelsea match review or show. I hope you're all doing well, and I sincerely do hope that. So sit back, relax, and let's get into it right away. Oh, yes, welcome back to Chelsea Perspective. Welcome to another match review show on Chelsea Perspective. We ended Crystal Palace 1 at Chelsea 2, an important away win for us, an important first 3 points for Graham Potter and the boys. It wasn't the best of performances, but again, in the end, we got a win. I said it's the tradition here before I forget. It's important that I get what we already have in the chat. Unfortunately, I think if I remember what I saw again in the front end, Joss Viola was the first to comment, and she specifically said first to comment. I can't find that comment anymore. And I did see another comment from Fawole, but I can only see Liam Lane's comments. Apologies that I can't highlight those comments. Blue Morning, Kachila panel and chat. Blue Morning to you too. Liam Lane, I hope you're doing well. Again, here says, please like and subscribe when you enter. If you have not, as it helps the channel reach a wider audience. Yes, that is just the truth. Like and subscribe again if you enter to help us reach a wider audience. So today we have again a few just a single exercise. Review the match, not a single, maybe three. Rate the players, and then also vote for the man of the match and the worst player of the match. Again, thank you very much for all the support as you're coming in. Keep liking the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Overall, like I said, it was a disjointed performance. The structure, it was hard to figure out what structure it was. Again, exactly that Graham Potter was deploying. Again, we understand the application is different, but one thing that you could say was certain that yesterday was that it wasn't a back three formation. It was most definitely a back four formation, given the personnel we had on the pitch. The question was, how was the structure in the midfield area and in the attacking area? It was also very difficult to tell, but we did our best. And after all, you could say the general consensus was that it was a back four system, and overall a disjointed performance. You could say, should I say dispirited, if that's even a word? But again, it wasn't a performance to be happy about. The most important thing, again, to be happy about is that we got a good result, and Kepa was brilliant. A few players you can point to, Thiago Silva also was good. You can say it wasn't, overall as a team, it was a poor performance, but you can just pick out players from here and there that you think that you could say did well. Again, Santiago Munoz says, morning, Kachula panel and chat. Morning to you too, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join. Let me just look at this setup here from FODMob. Again, FODMob is an app I'm using the desktop version. Again, if you haven't, go check it out. Again, it is a very, very good app for it gives you a lot you on results, red cards, yellow cards, statistics, as you can see on the screen, everything, player ratings, very, very intuitive also. I use it for free because I have the desktop version, but you can go download it. They have, again, if you're using Huawei products, if you're using Android or Apple products, you can find it there, and it's very, very intuitive, like I said, and you use it, covers all the leagues in the whole world. Okay, let's get back to it. I think Kimso joins the show. Kimso, I hope you're doing well. And here, Kimso says, Aubameyang is already better than Lukaku. I mean, it's a legit argument, given not that he scored he started as well as Lukaku started, but overall his performance on the pitch yesterday, you can say he looks fitter. He looked better than he'd looked since he joined the Chelsea. What I like the most about him is that he's able to drop deep support play, he drift to the flanks. It doesn't just again he didn't just stand centrally there in the attacking area and be pointing to where he wants the ball. So that to me, yeah, that alone, you could say if you look at that alone, you could say, well, he's already better than him as a Chelsea player. So yeah, I agree with you in that sense. Again, Aubameyang will break the curse. I think he will. He has the pedigree to back that. He has the skill set. Again, it's not just. Here's the thing. One thing about Aubameyang, which is something I've talked about before, when the whole conundrum or whether he'll join us or not was still on, my argument then was that again, the good thing about him is that he's also a creator. He's not the one to only start centrally there because he's deployed in the number 9 area and not move about, drop deep to collect the ball or drift to the flanks and all that. He participates in the play. Just as you can see, you could compare him to Harry Kane in that aspect. Although again, I don't want to get into the argument who's a better striker, but in the pattern, in the manner at which they drop deep to participate in the play, drift to the right or left, and also be creators. Which again, that approach to the number 9 role creates a chance for your striking partner or your attacking fellow attackers there. Aubameyang, again, I hope he does. I think he has the pedigree to back the argument that he will do that eventually. I hope he does. Really, Porter should play Zakaria in the CDM position. We learned yesterday that again the issue with Zakaria is that he has a fitness issue, of which I don't know much about. I only heard about it a few weeks ago, but I didn't look into it too much. I thought it was something that maybe before the end of the international break, he'd be ready to play. It turns out he isn't ready, but I'm not sure. I'm not the manager. I just wish somebody could ask Porter a question during a press conference what the issue was, so he'd let us know. But I don't think it's like you say. Some would say maybe an attitude issue or some stuff like that. It has to be a fitness issue. Aubameyang is a Roma. I see him playing on the left, right, and defensive support. Again, age is just a number. Again, he has the intelligence. His runs are dynamic. You can't specifically say this is where you'll find him at a particular point in time. He's always, he's a Roma, like you phrased it. I think there's no better way to phrase it than to say he is a Roma. Again, like I said, the way he makes his runs means he'd be able to create a spaces for his striking partners or the team's attacking players. Because if he drifts it to the left or to the right or drop deep, that usually draws the opposition defense to him, who know he's a lethal finisher and wouldn't want to give him space, but inadvertently create space for Aubameyang's striking partners. That's how good he is, and I'm glad he's opened his account with us. So let's see what happens. Like, I believe the rest, again, will be brilliant. Zakaria has not been fit enough to play yet as he came with a fitness problem. Yeah, but the question is, I'm going to ask you this, Liam Lane, how long is it going to take him to become fit? He's trained with the team. It's almost a month now, or a little less than a month. I'm not sure how long. But again, he wasn't like a Juve. It wasn't like he was injured, or is he into some other behavior that's, crippling his fitness? I don't know how to say that. Tob S, nice to see you. Thank you very much for finding the time to join. I sincerely do appreciate that. Kimso says, I love Silva, but Koulibaly should play. He has pace, good on the ball. Yes, I think even, here's the thing. We had that argument before time, but we checked the possible travel time. Silva traveled to France for their friendly. Again, it was against Ghana, and I don't think if the friendly, since the friendly was played in France, I don't think they camp in Brazil. It wouldn't make any sort of sense to go to camp in Brazil and they had to travel to France for that friendly. I think they probably camped in France too, which means he didn't travel that much. Koulibaly, on the other hand, traveled to Africa. Plus, you could argue, again, he himself admitted that he hasn't adapted fully to the pace of the Premier League, or tempo maybe, and that even if the manager was having an issue deciding whether to start him or not, if he hears that, that makes it easier for him to say, okay, you dropped to the bench today because you traveled in, because you're still adapting and all that. Again, it wasn't like the back line wasn't, you could say, it wasn't the best of performances though, especially attacking wise. Again, but it was overall professional performance from the back line. A few shaky moments from Fofana himself, maybe trying to impress, but overall he did quite well. Not in but yeah, we get into that in a bit. Chalobah CDM then. I get the argument there, but one thing I have to say is this: given the way I've learned, again, how have what I've seen from Chalobah overall is this: I don't think if you really, except if you want a traditional, CDM that sits again, all they do is just defend. I'm not well sure. Again, I've not been well convinced. I'm not really convinced about Chalobah's. You can say I'm not well convinced about Chalobah's attacking ability from the central area in terms of will he be able to progress the ball if oppositions if opposition players press him aggressively? Will he be able to dribble his way out of tight spaces and all that? Those things he doesn't have it, and he doesn't have those qualities or those factors, those skill sets that I just named. So it would be an issue playing him there. If maybe Potter can get him, to adapt to that position and then be able to progress the ball and not opt for safer options backwards, sideways, whenever we don't see spaces. So again, we've been there before and it's been a problem for us. So I don't want that to continue. So maybe I don't think even if he starts playing there, you can believe me, it'd be a temporary thing. It will not be a permanent thing. But yeah, I don't think it makes sense to try to convert Chalobah to a defensive midfielder. Not for Chelsea, not the way I know Potter likes to play. Even in Potter's teams, you could say the two people where we Chelsea fans usually call 2 6s. Usually he deploys CMs there and not sixes. Again, traditional sixes, or let alone one of hybrid of 8 and 6. So yeah, but we'll see what happens. Again, I have IBZ in the house, brother. How are you doing? Thank you for finding the time.
How you doing, man?
I can't complain, my brother. I did. I thank God life there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to catch up with the chat and now come back, go to IBZ, get his thoughts on the overall team's performance before we pick it apart one by one. Chalobah for CDM, then I disagree. And here we have, again, Mount needs to be dropped. Again, we've said that 1,000 times. That's not me arguing that he's a bad player, but something seemed off. Plus, again, before the game started, during the pre-game show, I and Ty, we talked about how Mount playing deep, whenever he's played there, you'd see he'd still work hard. You'd still see the industry, again, that makes him popular amongst Chelsea fans. And unfortunately for him, most people don't look beyond his industry to recognize that he's a good player. Again, playing him deep, even if that's that position is his so-called preferred position, playing him deep in that position usually it seemed lost in recent days that he's played there. Again, we don't see that more productivity from him, except the industry, the running, defending, and pressing people. So I wouldn't want to see him in that position again. Zakaria played for his national team. Then that begs the question: where did we hear the argument that it's about fitness? So maybe it's about travel, because after international break, the manager has to factor in travel time of all the players to consider. Okay, who jet lag and all that to decide who starts over the other. Again, here we have a Chalobah played CDM. Yeah, but this is Chelsea, and like I said, I don't think Potter will be looking for, you can say, a traditional DM that sits back, just defends and not contribute attacking wise. I don't think that he'll be looking for something like that. Yeah, let's see what else we have here. Again, I think I would be more excited to see Chalobah at CDM. He used to be a very good dribbler back in his loan again, and take people on. Yeah, that's what where the aspect I'm saying I'm not sure, because I don't want a traditional DM that sits back and just defends. That you're practically playing with -1. But let's see if there's a chance Porter he'll be able to to get him to start playing fulfilling that role very well. Chalobah played in Stadium also in his other loans. Chalobah will bring a more physicality and pace to the midfield. Okay, you guys won. Let's see. You've won. Let's see what happens. Big up Santiago, and here we have again. Yep, thank you. Coming to you, IBZ. Your thoughts on the overall performance of the team again? To me, it was disjointed. Again, there's no proper cohesion. It just seemed as they were all off. I don't know if it was due to the international break, because we played better against Salzburg, you could say, but we want this one. That's just the difference. And we shouldn't forget that every time there's an international break, usually we have issues restarting. But go ahead, brother.
Yeah, man. It was a job well done. It wasn't pretty, obviously, but moments of brilliance from Conor Gallagher got us the 3 points. I was so happy to see a ball come towards a striker, and a striker uses an instinctive turn and finish. That was so refreshing to see. In Aubameyang,
with his back to the post before the ball dropped.
Yeah, I celebrated like it was just a madness. It was just refreshing to see. All in all, coming from a goal down, score 2 goals, win the game, it's credit considering our recent record in that type of situation, especially away from home. So yeah, I got to credit the gaffer. I got to credit the way he kept the opponents guessing in terms of his system. Something I think Tuchel didn't really do. We saw 4 at the back. Then the second half we saw a 4-3-3. It was really good to see. The way we will be resilient. We were resilient in not feeling sorry for ourselves and capitulating after 1 goal, but getting a character to get back into the game before the second half, getting a little bit of momentum going into the second half, coming out, riding the wave. I was absolutely impressed with Reece James, the way he held the threat of Wilfried Zaha. He put Wilfried Zaha in agony, in which Wilfried Zaha had to move his position to the other side. So those type of highlights in individual performances highlighted me that the game plan went really, really well. It's never easy coming to Selhurst Park with the way Vieira has his team playing. They play on the front foot, and it did look at times where it did look shaky. I have to commend the players. It's a win. I have to commend Kepa. I have to commend Wesley.
Overall, it's a professional performance. Go ahead.
I have to commend Wesley Fofana for getting himself back into the game. He looked a bit shaky for the first 10-15 minutes. He grew into the game. We were lucky with Thiago Silva. But again, experience is experience. He probably knew how to articulate that type of move. But
but while you're still on on the case of Thiago Silva, let's be honest here. It's experience, and it worked.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, a younger player. If you remember the case of Fofana against Zagreb, if worse come to worse, take one for the team.
Yeah.
And you could argue that was the risk that Thiago Silva took there.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get beyond past me. I'd rather take one for the team and let me do it in a way that nobody will be sure. But the truth remains, you could argue also that it was a foul. Some referee will give a foul there, but looking beyond whether
red.
some will give it a red straight away. But looking beyond whether it was a foul or not,
Yeah.
That's the right thing to do. That's where experience comes in.
100%,
And that was what
yeah,
Fofana didn't do against Zagreb. He tried to match the guy pace for pace. And when he recognized the guy was outpacing him, he didn't do anything to stop him. Probably was
100%.
only concerned about staying on the pitch. But no, sometimes take one for the team. And you could still end up winning the game.
Yeah, I was really impressed with the way he held it down. You know, everyone, like, it's, again, away game. Potter's first game, they're going to have to adapt to a new system in the Premier League, and they reacted well. It may have looked like it weren't going anywhere with the first goal going in, but the reaction from the boys, the resilience, I was impressed. Obviously, we didn't see Aubameyang after the first goal, but what we did see is that a striker is just there to score the goals, instinctive. You know what I mean? He was there, he got his opportunity, he took it. Obviously,
it was a brilliant finish. I'm going to catch up with the chat.
Yeah.
Another question I want to ask you: can we try and talk about why did we see such a disjointed performance? Was it due to down to you know, you could say there weren't too many changes at the international break, or a change in a system? I don't know, in the formation, so to speak, because usually it's easy to mix up system and structure. I'll come back to you in a bit. Igwe says we needed to get Leao. It's not going to be that easy. Again, by the time the next season, we get to January, actually, he'd have a year left on his contract, and there'd be more clubs vying for his signature. And the question is, again, if we're not making it out of the group, which means we're not gonna have Champions League football. Plus, again, we're not sure. Even if we do, are we going to win it? And are we going to even make it to top four? Those things come into play. So if we're eventually going to get him, we'd end up paying him twice in terms of salary, twice as much as all the clubs that were given offers Champions Football Club will pay him. But that's, by the way, here we have, again, Art Ibsen says, let's see how Leao does against us. It's an audition for him, for you to really stop him. If we go back to the Potter way, really. Again, in terms of a high line, a risky game, again, he'd have a lot of space to enjoy the game very, very well. But I know Potter will. Again, I'm not sure. I can't really say specifically how I think Potter will approach the game. But we'll see what happens. It's just a few days from now. I have never seen any Chelsea team play well after an international break. Yep. So we're right. So maybe that may well be the case. It was some of them, you could say, look, they're still jet lagged. You know, it was Kovacic, unlike Kovacic, he looked off. Who you could say, even after international breaks, he plays better than he did yesterday. But again, something was really off. Again, let me see what else do we have here. Auba is a quality striker, and he's not done yet. He's not done. He has it in him. That was why we went for him in the first place. At his age, he scored 11 goals out of 17 appearances for Barcelona, maybe a few more. That's for last season, because he did play a few games for them this season. Maybe not really. I don't know, did he play any La Liga games for this? But I don't remember. But just show you how good of a striker he is. At Arsenal, some people will argue his last season at Arsenal wasn't that productive. But you could argue it was due to a change of managerial change at the club, and a change in approach, and him falling out with the manager then, and the whole thing, you know, went down south from there. I exactly tell them, also, okay, let me see what we have here. Leao had a beautiful chip last night and an assist. He will have that says if you're not careful. Yeah, again, we don't have to give him that space. If he has the space again, he will do some damage before we even realize what's going on. And that game is a must-win game. If we draw that one, you can say it's over for us. Again, getting out of that group. Silva wasn't the last defender there. Was Chilwell really measuring him? I don't really think so. But I don't. They didn't really look at it that much. But I was thinking whether Chilwell was measuring him or maybe a bit again beyond him. I'm not sure. Again, but that's a good argument to bring up there. Aubameyang's finish was world class. Again, hate is gonna hate. Oh yeah, you say about it. So again, coming back to you, IBC, your thoughts. What do you think? You know, the overall performance, it was disjointed. But if you're saying it was due to the international break, it wasn't pretty at any time. Like you and I, we've already agreed, it was just a professional performance overall. But No. Again, your thoughts. What do you think happened?
It wasn't the dare I say, it wasn't the Arsenal way.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the Arsenal way. Still the way Arsenal played against Spurs. It wasn't that way. You know, it wasn't beautiful to watch on the eye, but it was the job done. Pulisic coming on, getting the it needed to be done. You could argue players were probably still not at it due to internationals, just getting back into the rhythm. Away from home, you're not at your pace. You're at the pace of the home team with their crowd, their bumper crowd. You know, everyone's got to settle in. So it is what it is. It's just one of those things. It's just a bit of tiredness, maybe a bit of rustiness. So I'll just call it down to that. I'll just say just a little bit of everything. Nothing in the sort of our players don't want to play for them or what have you. I don't think it's an attitude to try. I just think it's just a bit of a mindset in terms of the like just getting, you know, when you're a little bit rusty. You know, it's been quite some time since Potter's had his first Premier League game. It's been the best part of 2 weeks or nearly 3 weeks, if you want to include Her Majesty's passing. So it's been sometimes since the players have got together to play a Premier League game. So credit to him to change the systems when he found it was probably be a bit just disjointed. Credit to him to make the changes he needed to change to make sure we get the result.
But I didn't think he made the changes quickly. I was calling again. I and Ty during the watch along show.
Yeah.
We were calling. I think he made it very late. I think we were asking for him to switch up something, even maybe switch to a back three because it wasn't really working at then. And wouldn't you say we were lucky over? Go ahead.
I don't know what he's trying to do. I wish I did. But maybe he's trying to introduce this back four into the team and maybe reframe what he's a manager that will change systems during play. But maybe he is introducing. This is the second time we've kind of seen the back four type beat working with our team. So maybe he's trying to introduce that and see where it goes from there. With Thiago Silva, I think maybe he's looking at Thiago Silva that he needs to protect him. So he may employ Koulibaly to play the AC Milan game, both legs of the AC Milan game. If just because of the
possibly a club he's used to playing against.
Exactly. So, you know, it's interesting. I think Koulibaly will be featuring. I think he will start against Milan. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't.
The question I want to ask you though, if Koulibaly starts, is he going to be in a back four or maybe to lead a back three? Again, what do you think?
Again,
because if Koulibaly starts, which means most definitely Fofana would drop to the bench.
Well, I mean, he might play Koulibaly and Fofana for this Champions League game in the back four again. You know, he might do it. He might do it.
And then leave Silva out.
I mean, leave Silva out, protect Silva. Silva's 38, 39, mate. I mean, if Silva keeps playing...
Here's the thing I want to say quickly. When we were talking about Silva yesterday, although Bobby was still at work, he wasn't watching the game. So he wasn't happy. You could say he wasn't really happy that Silva started. Because he feels like he doesn't want us to get to a point where he gets overused, he burns out, and then we have a serious problem. But it turned out that if he wasn't on the pitch, we could have lost the game actually.
Yeah, but okay, I understand that. And that's
he's that important. Yeah, and if you look at the Zagreb game, you could say we missed him.
Yeah, but then we will have to argue that we have to learn to not have a reliance on Thiago Silva. And if that means Graham Potter taking a risk and playing the back four with Koulibaly and Fofana, so be it. And it's got to be done at some point. Just because we need Thiago Silva in our squad doesn't mean we have to always play a back three.
Okay, to you, if it's not playing, who would you say would be the most suitable to fulfill that role?
It will be Koulibaly and
Yeah.
Fofana. That's why we paid this money for them. We didn't pay 80 odd million or 60 odd million for these two just to sit on the bench to watch Thiago Silva age like fine wine. These guys have to play football. These guys have to be there to go into their roles. That's millions of pounds worth of talent sat on the bench, coach. So, Thiago Silva's been there for 2 years now. He's in his third year, maybe. I mean, lad, thank you, but thank you. You don't do. You sit down, rest your legs. You're old, man. And the rigorous pace of this Premier League. Yesterday was if yesterday didn't really see that how easy it could be to get caught out like that, then we need a awakening. He's quality, he's brilliant, but I would rather his quality be used
sparingly.
I can't we can't rely on a 38-year-old and capitulate or have no game plan when he's not there. What if he gets injured when we don't know how to play without him? So I will advocate that Koulibaly now gets to run the game. Thiago Silva take a rest. He may well start the next game. It might be a back three, but I would employ that we need to see more of that Koulibaly and Fofana partnership, because that is the future as opposed to the Thiago Silva. We'll see how it goes. I hope Koulibaly gets to run the games. I want to see him play a lot. I feel he's absolutely incredible. With him and Fofana both at the back, it will just be a good dynamic. I hope it can work out. I hope Potter sees it. And it can work if it's trained very well. I have faith in the coaching team. I have faith in what Potter's trying to do, and the players we have. It can be possible. But yeah, we still stay optimistic and still stay grounded. My expectations are still low. I don't know about anyone else. Obviously, everyone's still saying
it's going to be a very, very long season. For me, here's the thing: if we didn't change our manager, if we still had Thomas Tuchel, I'd argue that maybe would do better than most people expect us to do. But in this case, it's a managerial change. That in its own brings, which means for the manager too, he has to learn how to better utilize those players. He was looking at those players as an opposition manager, but now he's there. He has to put them to work, to help him, apply his preferred approach to the game. But that's right. Well, let me catch up with the chat. When I come back, I think we'll go into rating the players. And if we finish in time, we can call it a day, except if anybody brings up an interesting topic to talk about.
Coach,
but again,
I'll be back.
All right, no problem, brother.
But I'll try and be back in time for you, the rating.
All right, no problem, brother. Right. Again, where is a Koulibaly? Koulibaly, again, he was on the bench. And again, it only makes sense that he was... Thiago Silva starts over him. He traveled, but you can say he traveled farther than Thiago Silva did during the international break. And those things, that the travel time for players, gets factored into the decision who starts over the other. So you can say we knew before time that most likely Thiago Silva would start because they played in France when, Koulibaly had to travel. I think it was to Africa. Let me just say he traveled farther than Thiago Silva did. Plus, him admitting that he's still adapting to the Premier League's pace, if you want to phrase it that way. Here again, Kimster says Aubameyang was frustrated at Arsenal. That's why his goal output was trash. It dropped. That's his last season there. But remember, at Arsenal, he had an output of 20 goals plus in 2 consecutive seasons. One, he won the Golden Boot. He's that good again until what's his name? Mikel Arteta took over. You could say he wanted to do away with the big boys. He wanted to be, you could say the real person in charge. He started doing away with the big name players. He stripped the captainship from Xhaka and all that. But I'm not going to go into that again. It's more not that's as simple to talk about again. There's more to it than we know. That's just the truth. But that doesn't mean Aubameyang has. I wouldn't say he has a discipline issue. But thank you for putting up that there. Here it says Auba joined the wrong team from Dortmund. He tried his best to elevate the Gunners. The Gunners are looking elevated this season. Do I think they're still there? There's a chance it happens. But again, do I think they have a deep enough squad? to stay there, I mean, at least stay in the top four to around July again 2023. It's to around February, March 2023. It's very possible, but we'll see what happens. Maybe if they sign players in January, if they're able to hold it to stay in the top four to January, and then sign new players and all that, I think they do better than most people expect. They're doing quite well. But we'll see what happens. Here we have, again, let me see anything else to look at here. Give me a second. Okay, that wasn't for me. And here we have, my system is a bit slow in highlighting the comments. Aubameyang benefited from the international break. He doesn't play for Gabon anymore. I didn't know he's retired from international football. So it's good for us and good for him too. Here we have, again, I get rather upset when I see Koulibaly's replacement shine so much, but I know he will make us a solid. He will definitely has the experience, he has the pedigree. Again, you can say just develop more chemistry with the backline, and then he'd be better off. Again, most people argue that he struggled with the pace, or you could say tempo of the Premier League. Believe me, I said that isn't the case. Again, you wouldn't even, it's just, you could say lack of proper chemistry in the back line, because we made 2 changes in the games that he played for us. That's my argument, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Silver 8 are better than CR7. You can say that's a solid argument. I don't want to, the CR7 who had a hat-trick of misses in for Portugal the last time he played for them. Excuse me. Silva is still good. Gosh, he was always liable to a few mistakes. Again, that mistake or that incident that could have led, oh my gosh, to him receiving a red card wasn't because of his pace. It was just him trying to beat. Was it Zaha? I don't remember who it was exactly. With some trickery, and then he faltered and nearly got us into trouble. But you could argue at the same time that he was fouled. This hurts really badly. The coffee went down the wrong pipe, but I'm fine now. Aubameyang has to score 10 Premier League goals minimum. I think he is capable of doing that, but the services, we have to also improve the services to the box. It took Thiago Silva staying there up front, and then again, and with his intelligence and experience, again, nodding the ball down to him, it took that for us to get that goal. And you could say of all the players on the pitch, it was Thiago Silva who made the most vertical passes. Our midfielders was always, again, they always opted for the safer options, backwards, sideways. Again, I was like, what's going on? What's going on here? Again, I think it was Thiago Silva's push, his desire to win that game that got us over the line, that helped us get that win. Our midfielders, it didn't look like anything was going to come from them. Our attackers too, except for for that brilliant finish from Aubameyang, it didn't look like anything else was gonna come from them. So I have to be honest. Again, Koulibaly will play against Milan. Again, I think so, which makes a sense. Again, like when we talked about when IBC was still on the panel here, it's a team that you could say is used to playing against. So I see him playing against Milan. Napoli made good signings. How do they find these unknowns? Good scouting work. And plus, again, you could say when you don't have the money, to go after big name players, you have no option than than to scout for the cheap good players. Maybe that's the case. I think it's simple. That's the case. Yeah, it says here. Oh, my screen is really, really slow to highlight what I'm trying to read. Kimso here says again, if Jesus gets injured, Arsenal are done. Yeah, but he's usually not injured. Again, he's hardly out. I can't remember the last time I heard that he's injured. Silva did struggle in his Premier League debut. Look at him now. That's a shoot. Again, I think one of them was against West Brom. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong. He was sent off too. I think the chemistry thing is a real factor. A combination take different times to get you. that's the truth. Again, so that comes into play too. I wouldn't say it's just the pace of the Premier League alone. I would say it probably the communication between the back line and all that. Those factors do come into play. I would try to catch up with what we have in the chat and then come back so we go into the player rating proper. Again, if you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Those things do go a long way. Yes, I'm okay. Thank you very much. Odds even for asking. I appreciate you asking that question. Yep, I'm fine. Like I said, the coffee went down the wrong pipe and I was really painful. Okay, here we have again a coach. Yes, I'm fine. Thank you, Kimso. Thank you for saying that. And a happy new month, fam. Again, a Chikadibia, that's a typical Nigerian thing, celebrating the new month all the time. Again, I was born in, I grew up in Nigeria, and I have a lot of friends, so I do get a lot of messages every time we get into the new month. But thank you for saying that, Chikadibia. I appreciate you saying that. So it's time to get into the player ratings aspect of the whole thing. And so get you ready. Again, this is just me assuming that this is a structure, and I'm not quite sure. I have to rewatch the game again to say, okay, but most definitely was a back four structure. But the question is how there was the midfield structured and the front line. But that's, by the way, we will do the rating, and when we come back again, I take questions from those in the chat. Again, we need to be more clinical against Milan. They're very good. Again, when we have Olivier Giroud and Leao, those are, again, and I'm not sure we're good in terms of defending aerial balls. Yeah, as much as again, Silva is good and he's a very intelligent player, but attacking aerial balls isn't his strongest suit. Maybe again from a corner kick scoring, but defending, you can say that isn't his strongest suit. But we'll see what happens. I hope we win that one, because if we're done, you can say it's all over for us. Again, I'm going to put up a poll. We'll start with Kepa Arrizabalaga, and Kepa's performance as overall underground Potter begs the question: where does Mendy's future lie? That's not me saying Mendy is a bad goalkeeper. But it's something seems off his game for quite some time right now. And I thought maybe the signing of Koulibaly changes quite a lot. Maybe the signing of Koulibaly gives him more confidence. But it didn't. It's been a comedy of errors, one error after the other. It's not really, again, you cannot just argue that Mendy's problem has been only playing with his feet, of which I think is most people don't give him enough credit. Don't give him enough credit that he deserves. With it, given his ability to play with his leg. Do I think he can measure Kepa Arrizabalaga in that aspect? No. But something overall, like my point is something seems off. And it's not just about him playing with his feet. There's been goals he's conceded from angles he shouldn't concede. Some, you can say he literally punched it into his own net. But we'll get into that in a bit. Let me at Kepa, let's Kepa rating and see how you rate him. Give me a second. Okay, we go here. I'll start by yeah. Okay, let's see how you guys rate Kepa Arrizabalaga. 7, 8, 9, and 10 are the options there. Let's see what happens. We need to be more clinical. We need to be even more clinical. Sterling yesterday was disappointing for me. The one you thought, again, he was on his right foot. You thought he'd be comfortable shooting with his right foot. He didn't. And again, Aubameyang has a score to settle with Milan. It will fuel him a bit like Gallagher versus Palace. Can you give us more context? I don't recall what you're referring to. I really want to know. Here we have again. Lemna says, "I hope Kepa isn't dropped now, as has he's earned his chances after yesterday." You should, if you listen to Graham Potter's interview after the game, post-game interview, he sang him praises. And again, you could argue, like most people has argued, given the fact he even specifically talked about his distribution. There are things you can say. Kepa Arrizabalaga, he has in his locker room, things he has in his locker room that Mendy doesn't have. Unfortunately, as much as I like Mendy, again, the hunger he showed when he nearly showed John Chelsea, you could argue, Goppo on the panel here argued he's lost that hunger. Maybe that's the case. I don't know if the focus now is to earn more money because he's won literally everything in all, just the short time he's played for Chelsea Football Club. But let's not get into that argument. Again, it will get feisty if we do. Because I know so many people still thinks he's better than Kepa Arrizabalaga, but the argument isn't who's better than the other. The argument is who's in a better form at this point, and Kepa undoubtedly is in a better form at this point, and has shown again, even on the Thomas Tuchel, when we started seeing those series of errors from Mendy, the argument from Matt, Zivoy, and some others who were really paying attention was that Mendy averages a single mistake per game and should be dropped for his own good. And like Nick Blue would say, for his own good, it's a human thing. If that doesn't happen, he subconsciously will feel like he's undroppable. Maybe that was the case. Maybe if Thomas Tuchel, had the courage to drop him in a game or two when the opportunity calls, say, okay, this is a cup game, Kepa starts, and then plays Kepa in subsequent games, he learns he needs to do even better than he's done. But he didn't do it. So I don't think Porter, again, if he sticks to his principle, knowing that, again, for him, it's about, your form. It's not like Porter isn't like, you can say, as much as I like Thomas Tuchel, it's not like Thomas Tuchel, who has, in certain positions, he has preferred players in certain positions and wouldn't change them until maybe they break an arm or a leg. Then they won't be able to even come onto the pitch before he drops them. I don't think it will make any sort of sense to drop Kepa again, even if Mendy recovers fully. Kepa has shown he's a better sweeper keeper. He's better with his feet, and his height isn't actually a problem. Just like most people has argued that Kepa's height, will always be an issue. He won't be able to reach certain balls. But again, was it against Zagreb or against Salzburg that he stopped again a shot from the opposition team that we all thought was going to go into the net via the 90th angle? And he can say he has more agility than Mendy. And Mendy is the goalkeeper I love so much. But again, I'm not going to get into that argument now. I hope it doesn't. He deserves to keep his place, given how well he's done. Apparently, Auba played for Milan at youth level, and they never gave him a chance. Oh, thank you. You see, that's why, again, we don't know everything. That's why it's important that I asked that question. I really wanted to know. They didn't give him a chance. They called him a pace merchant. Wow. But you could argue sometimes in life, it takes such a rejection to push one to look at themselves and say, what you could call self-assessment and recognize, okay, you know what? I really need to do better in this aspect. I really need to improve this aspect of my game. I think that may have been what pushed him to become an even better player. Again, Mount needs to see the bench a lot. That indirect free kick, that was comical. That was comical, Chidi, I have to say. Oh my goodness, that was a truly comical Chidi. And one day, again, thanks for bringing it up. Again, if you haven't, we have just 16 likes. Let's try to get it to at least 50 likes by the time we get to 1 hour mark into the show. We have just 16 likes. If you haven't, like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Mount needs to see the bench. I wouldn't say see the bench just because of that free kick. Again, that indirect free kick, again, inside the box should have been at least on target. Plus, at the angle where he tried to sneak ball in is where I have the issue with. We had, again, millions of people there, which means even if he gets it on target, it hits somebody it hit the body of one of the opposition defenders, or those covering that end of the goal of the stakes. Yeah, I was surprised. Again, there should have been a better way. What was he thinking? But I wouldn't jump in the bench because of that. And also, you could argue the whole thing, Mount's problem yesterday, and Ty and I also talked about it during the pregame show, comes down to where he was deployed. Deeper than usual. Again, like I've argued before, which means he has to readapt his game. Whether you like it or not, no matter how good of a player he is, he's played further forward for a long time now. then him to play here, he needs to readapt his game, which means I argued I'd rather play. I would have rather played, what's his name here? I played Loftus-Cheek in either of the side of these two central midfielders there, if that's really how Potter what the position said. But again, you get my argument. I don't think it comes down to him being a bad player. I think it comes down to where he was deployed. Again, but we'll get into that in a bit. Let's see, what else do we have here? Again, that indirect free kick, it was comical to say the least. That's how I see it. I couldn't believe my eyes. Kepa is taller compared to Mendy. What? I'm not sure what you're saying. Okay, again, Mendy is a robber. Again, I don't know how else to approach that argument, not to come across as if I'm hating one of the goalkeepers than the other. Again, yeah, but again, he's done. My overall argument is this: he's done better than Mendy. Again, we haven't seen Mendy on the ground. Potter. Again, but it's difficult. Usually, like we've talked about here before, the goalkeeping position isn't something that you just decide to switch a goalkeeper. That's especially true if they're doing well. But yeah, let's see, let's see what happens. The whole thing comes down to again, Potter's preferred preferred player of the two goalkeepers, but chances are more likely he will, again, Mendy, Kepa Arrizabalaga will keep his place. It would take something special for Mendy to dislodge him, if you want to phrase it that way. Here we have King SS Mendy back, please. For some reason, can you tell us why you prefer Mendy over Kepa Arrizabalaga? I really do want to know. Reece should have taken that free kick. I think so too. Captain America, what an impact in just, I think, how many minutes? Under 5 minutes that he got onto the pitch, he made an impact. My argument why I think he didn't start yesterday was that, again, probably because in this formation, I think the structure, I think he would have done well had he started better than, again, to the two guys that started. But again, the manager had an excuse to drop him, given that he traveled. I'm not sure where they played their international friendly. It was against Japan or so, but wherever it was, I think he traveled more than Havertz did, and probably that was reason enough to drop him to the bench. I think he gets his chance, and that's exactly what I want to see. I don't want to see the drama from the tweets from his dad and him, complaining, behaving in a way that shows discontent with the manager's selection process. That can cause an issue with him. And if you pay attention, if you analyze Potter's comments, say he's a good lad, he's working well, he's not going to judge him by the past, which means by what he's done in the past, but which means he heard everything he said. And that's not good to point fingers at your managers while you're still playing. It can be a risky thing. It's just like you live in an organization that you're working with and then complaining too much, even to the new organization, complaining about your previous manager. The new manager will take note. The slightest of incident that's anything aligned to what you told him before, they go, oh, there he goes again, that behavior again. So I don't want that to happen because I know he's a good player. And my argument hasn't been whether he's good or not. It's his relationship with Thomas Tuchel, which history has shown then that Thomas Tuchel didn't see him, have never seen him as a starting player. And I wanted him to leave Chelsea then. But now he has a clean slate. I hope he gets his chance to prove that he's capable of playing for this team, and the rest will be history. And I don't want us to jump to the conclusion that he is, an injury-prone player. I don't think that's the case. I think he's still young, and then I'm just going to reference the case of Arjen Robben. He was the same with us. He was injury-prone. And probably I didn't know if that was the reason why he was selling or whether he wanted to leave. I didn't recall. But the moment he left Chelsea, I'm sure we're all well acquainted with his story. The rest, we saw what happened, what he was able to achieve in his career. So I don't think we should let him go. But if we still had Thomas Tuchel as the Chelsea coach, I would say let him go straight away. Again, here we see again. I want to see Pulisic start Wednesday. He has to get a proper chance. Yep, if not given the chance, there's no way to tell what he can do. But I think Potter will give him the chance, and I think he'll take the opportunity. But then again, I'm going to keep saying it. As much as I love him, and this is not me being biased as an American, I know there's a good football in him. My argument is, please let him. I want to stop all those drama. Even when he doesn't get to play, his father should stay away from it. Again, and he should just control manager's behavior, not to come across as if he's showing dissent to the fan base or to the manager himself. That's dangerous. But I'm not going to go into it. But that's, by the way, again, I'm happy he stayed, and then there's a change of manager now. He gets the chance to prove that he's a good player. Again, we have just 17 likes. If you haven't, please like the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Those things do go a long way. So thank you very much. Priestley Chidi, when he says TT fumbled on Gallagher's positioning, playing him as a double six puts Gallagher in or again around the box, and he will cook. He's our only midfielder that can shoot a ball from over 25 yards out and be on target. He's that good. Again, that's one of another issues. I love Thomas Tuchel, but I started saying some things that I didn't like. Again, playing Conor Gallagher deeper, I think to me wasn't it? It doesn't make any sort of sense. Again, first of all, playing him deeper than he's always played, that he's played, let's say most recently at Crystal Palace, means again he has to readapt his style of play, to be well acquainted on how to fulfill that one of the 2-6s role. And again, him playing there was actually, you can argue Thomas Tuchel trying to get him to fulfill the Kovacic role, which is a hybrid of a 6 and an 8. And he was confused. And again, he was so much in a hurry to do well, or maybe doing too much to try to impress the manager, all those things. But I didn't like it. And we were concerned that was going to happen even before he returned from a loan from Crystal Palace. But you can see, again, my argument is always playing closer to the box. Again, you can say he's able, you can say he's capable of fulfilling that Mason Mount role. He has the energy. He has the pace, and he has an eye for on goal. If you're playing closer to the final third, he actually gets in the box in more decisive position than Mason Mount would. That's not me saying Mason Mount is bad, but for anybody stats a fight. But he's capable of fulfilling the Mason Mount role and get you more goals than Mason Mount would, because he has an eye for goal, even better than Mason Mount does. Again, what you could argue, maybe Mount will be able to create more chances than him. But I don't subscribe to the idea of playing him as one of the 2-6s. So good input there, Chidi. One day, thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you for finding the time to join the show. I cannot thank you enough. Again, here we have, again, Tobias says, again, Pulisic, again, plus Conor Gallagher start over Havertz and Mount. RSC start over J5, Koulibaly over Thiago Silva. Again, everything else the same. Here's the thing, good suggestions there. Again, but with all due respect, I don't want to see, Ruben Loftus-Cheek play as one of those, the 2-6s. It depends on the application. If the application is Potter's way, which means the application being the so-called 2-6s apply their role as a CMs rather than, again, CDMs or 2-6s, that's what we call it. Then I'd advocate for that, but I'd rather RSC play in the right wing position, or even in the right wing back position, where again we've seen him enjoy that, will fulfill it to a T, and again created some chances for us, and he's explosive on his day. I don't want to see him play deeply. He came on yesterday, and you can say he didn't have any impact. He was barely seen on the pitch. He was lost as much as Mount was lost in the game. So again, maybe it all comes down to the structure. Maybe with a different structure, again, if he plays as one of the 2-6s, he does even better than he did yesterday. So I'd rather him play closer to the final third, or maybe somewhere again on the flanks. He enjoys playing on the flanks too, on the right hand side. Yeah, but I get your argument. Yes, Koulibaly start over Silva. Give Silva a rest, because it's a busy month for us. The games are coming thick and fast, so we need to rest the players. And again, that your input there makes me think about it. I don't think Thiago Silva starts the next game. possibly he wouldn't. Again, if you haven't, thank you very much, guys. Keep liking the video, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have just 19 likes, and I believe we can do better than that. Here we have, again, I just saw Gallagher's Golazo again. I couldn't watch it. I could watch it again and again. It was a delicious finish. He was, again, when he got that ball, he was bent on shooting. Again, it was a delicious, well-taken shot that the goalkeeper, even though I think he reached it, couldn't stop it. Again, and it was deep in. That's what makes it dangerous. Again, at first you think it took a deflection, but it didn't. It was a well-taken shot. And again, much respect to the kid. Again, he has earned a place of. He's earned. Again, he should start next game. I start closer to the final third and not deeper. But I don't think Potter will play him deeper. Here again, you mean Pulisic that should? Yeah, he should. That's another way to say it. I understand it's your son, but you're not helping matters by those tweets. And again, but you think tweet and delete. Maybe he tweets and his son says, ask him, what the heck are you doing? The kid is a good player. And if Chelsea disrespects him that much, if he feels then he leaves. And I'm not Thomas Tuchel, I really wanted him to leave, but now I want him to stay because he'll get the chance to show he's a good player. Again, that's what I mean. He shouldn't be tweeting like that. Again, it doesn't help his case. Pulisic that can speak, he must. Yeah, volume indeed. Maybe adjust the volume a bit, not to be too loud. He has every right to talk about his son, but not in the manner that he's showing dissent about his son not playing. It doesn't help. It's not. That's no different from Tammy Abraham's girlfriend tweeting and saying some stuff regarding his playing time on the Thomas Tuchel 10 and all that. It doesn't help the player's case. I have to be honest with you. Hey, Suleiman, big up, brother. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. Again, how have you been? Please, again, tell me you're okay. Nice to see you back. Again, Zakaria over J5. You can't compare them to. Zakaria is a different kind of player. He's more of a, again, box-to-box midfielder. Whereas you can say in the case of J5 or Jorginho, he has that, again, because he's traditionally a regista, he has that approach to the game that every manager that likes to keep the ball values what he brings to the pitch. But again, here's the thing, he has some deficiencies in the sense that a more physical opposition midfielders can play him out of the game. Again, if opposition midfielders target him, he struggles to play. So which means you'd have to, if Jorginho is on the pitch, you'd have to find a way to mask his deficiencies, which includes, making sure then when that error happens, there's always somebody to cover for him. And then you see you see his mistakes, his errors less. Here again, Zakaria Ronaldo, is he finished? That's not for me to decide. I don't know, but it looks like. Again, it looks like he's coming to the end of his career. Given, again, he had a hat-trick of misses for Portugal, and that's unusual, but that doesn't mean we'll see. There's still time to figure out. Again, he'll be at the World Cup with Portugal, but we'll see what he does then. We should beat Milan. We should. It sounds easy, but they're well-drilled. They've been together for a while. There aren't too many changes in their own, from their own perspective. But to us, we've changed quite a lot. Again, we'll see what happens. And here we have, let me see what else we have here. Odds even again, just talking to odds even there. Here we have, again, Aubameyang is a striker we've been missing for years. Now, all we need is Leao for left wing and Nkunku for Cam. Again, where have that played versus Salzburg? Move Raheem to right wing. I do hope really, and to be serious, again, we're getting Nkunku. He will make a whole lot of difference for us. I hope that happens a bit, but there's no short. Again, that the story isn't, something is off there. It just doesn't make sense completely for me. Again, there are chances other clubs coming for him, and the other factors that stop, there may well be hinder us from getting him out there, Champions League football and all that. I hope we get Champions League football because our plans to get in more players in January is players who just want to move to Chelsea, knowing that the lack of Champions League football will most likely be a temporary thing. that will bounce back. But it's usually difficult to find such big name players. If we're really looking for big name and established players, we'll find it difficult to, get them to join us with our Champions League football. Sterling is our top goal scorer. I like him on the left. And yeah, he is, even as awful he was yesterday, it was really comical. Again, something was off. I think it all comes down to the fact that we've all agreed we don't do well after our international breaks. We've seen cases where we'll be, banging in the goals, winning matches, and once there's an international break, boom, we come back, we lose first game of the season, and then find the struggle, to stitch it together again. But again, I get it. Again, people were saying they would give a Porter until Xmas to get the team right. How can anyone, in all fairness, rate any coach until our midfield problems are fixed? And that's a very, very great point. Our midfield was horrible. It was horrible yesterday. Again, Thiago Silva had more vertical passes than our two midfielders did. Not even Chichinho. I'm like, what is going on here? It was just Thiago Silva who was finding the vertical passes from the defense. And again, Fofana, who was shaky, again, the first 15, 20 minutes. But again, he grew into the game. And after that, you could say he was brilliant overall defensively and otherwise. And he tried to at least, progress the ball and move with it. But our midfielders, they were awful. And that was why when Bobby, because, I understand Bobby wasn't watching the game. And I understand his call for Thiago Silva to be rested so we don't overplay him and he gets burnt out, then we're in trouble, because we must recognize how important he is to this team. Given, if you remember the game against Zagreb, his absence was, it was clear, the disparity of our performance when Thiago Silva is playing and when he isn't playing. So it's important that we play him sparingly. Again, but it makes sense for Koulibaly to come in for him against Milan, which you could argue which will be a more difficult game to deal with given the players they have. But yeah, I get it. Our midfielder were awful. And again, I wouldn't judge a Graham Potter again until we'll fix that midfield. And I'm not sure if he has enough quality to fix it. Carney isn't a number 6 at all. If anything, he's more capable of fulfilling the Kovacic role. Again, the hybrid of 6 and 8. Again, I don't think we have enough. Maybe if we see Zakaria, then we'll see maybe if we'll have enough, again, with Kante available, we'll see again, okay, yeah, we can do what he has. But again, I don't think the owners will be judging him even by December, even by the end of the season. They give him a 5-year deal, which means if they want out of that deal, they'll probably be spending quite a lot of money. But I think we still do better than expected, but not. Let me just forget how well we do. I cannot wait for us to get Casadel and Alvarez. And let's see. Bigger Bro, nice to win the late winner, even though overall performance wasn't great. Again, it was a disjointed performance. It was lackluster, to say the least. But thank you again for finding the time to join. And that's my brother Ankit from Almighty Sports Plus. And also his other channel is called Almighty Blues FC. Please go check out the 2 of his channel. Bro, you can share the link to your channel so people can go check it out. You don't even need to, again, ask me of that. I think I need to go do my work with a Nightbot to help me complete that job. I'm going to quickly catch up with the chat. We'll continue with the rating. It says Sterling is good at Chelsea. Yeah, he's good, but he was awful yesterday. Again, for once, we deserve some luck too. Silva was ascending up. Yep, again, it could go either way. It depends on who the referee, again, was. For some referee, some will actually call a foul on him. Some will give him a red card. Let's all hit the like button, people. Yes, we have just 21 likes, and I believe we can do better than that. Speaking of our midfield, we should sell J5 and cover and get Alvarez. If you don't sell J5 in January, chances are he gets to leave on a free. But it doesn't look like the club, it doesn't look like they're looking to extend his contract. Kante, from what we've learned, is the club's priority, and for good reason. I know some people also want Kante to leave, and I don't think the club will let him go that easily. Big up, Kuchila. Big up to you, to Queen, one of the queens of the house and queen of the house. Thank you for joining and to help keep things civil here. I appreciate that. Thank you. It's not easy. Again, I like Fofana a lot on the ball. The way he grew into the game, started doing the step overs and fakes, throwing the shoulder. I think we may have a quality footballer in our hands. We have a quality footballer. We knew that before time. Again, he wasn't going to come again. There's some, you can say, how much we paid for him, plus being Chelsea is a new team. There's some measure of pressure on him to show his worth, how much we paid for him. Again, it's that easy. Okay. I think Nightbot timed out Fawale. Again, Fawale, if you're watching, it's a machine that timed you out. Probably you used all caps or maybe spammed, saying a couple of messages consecutively. Okay, so let's continue with the player rating. Again, at 70, again, 44%. I think Kepa Arrizabalaga deserves a 7. I think he deserves more, but yeah, I get it. But I'm gonna go with what those in the chart thinks he deserves. A 7. Again, for me, I think he deserves an 8. Some crucial saves. And again, the important thing about his save is that he parried the ball to the side and not to his front, where the opposition gets a chance to have a goal on the post again. But yeah, I get your argument there. So let's give him a 7. I'm going to end it a 7. I thought it was going to be something like around 8, but fair enough rating there. Let's see, what else do we have here? Anything else? Carney, Alvarez, and Caicedo midfield would be bad. I think I think it would not be bad. I think we would have enough to structure it in a way that they do it. But I think I'd take away Carney, Caicedo. I think those guys, that they're not deep lying midfielders. Mount deserves to be dropped to so does Havertz. But problem is our natural wingers are being a bad tool for us to play 4-4-2. So yeah, I think that's a solid argument there. So he ended up playing 4-2-2-2 again and 4-3-1. In my opinion, Conor, Pulisic were impactful. They were again. They changed the game. They were explosive. They pressured the opposition defense more than those that started the game did. Yes, people, smash the like button. 22 likes. We should be doing better than that. Please smash the like button if you haven't. Again, he says, as much as Judge lacks a pace and strength, his willingness to make those crucial fouls and our forward passes seems just a bit more now. So I keep him until we get Alvarez in. Here's the thing. Even without considering those positives that you just mentioned, even though he has his deficiencies, and that can be a bad thing for us. Without him, we're worse off without him. It's as simple as that. We must make do with him. As long as he's available, I think he's the best of what we have. We have to make do with Jorginho, because without him, we're worse off. And like I've said before, he has that quality that every manager that likes to keep the ball values very well, which is, again, he has a register, and his ability to control games is something that every manager that wants to keep the ball values so much. That's why he starts. And we can't do, you can't do otherwise. It's Jorginho now. As much as we know his deficiencies, he's a problem for us, we can do other. So let's get back to rating the game. Sorry, I can't read everybody's comments right now, but some brilliant comments there again. And guys, again, 1-2 years, Carney would have started this game, I think, if he, or maybe come on from the bench if he was fine, but he was ill. We were told. Fofana was good on the ball again, but off it, not too impressive to me. I think you could say that's down to understanding Silva's positioning and his teammates' positioning very well again, which was what I argued was the issue that Koulibaly had. So we go to Silva here. We go to Fofana. So I'm going to ask you a rating for Fofana quickly. Let's again, I'm not going to be reading too many stuff right now. If I continue reading like that, that's a chance we will not, complete the rating and we get done. So let's do the rating for Fofana. And wait, I hope I don't spell it as Fonana. I've made that mistake on occasions. So Fofana rating. Okay, let's go. Let me see how you rate them. Where the beat as I wait for you to complete that. I'll try and catch up with some contributions in the chat. I'll go 6.5. I'll go a 7. 8. Let me add a 9 to 8 for final rating, please. I'll wait for you. Again, Jorginho is a coach killer. That's hilarious. Potter wouldn't be fooled. Again, you see how quickly he took him off. No, I think it's due to an injury, actually. It was due to an injury. Here's the thing. I'm going to repeat myself again. As much as we recognize Jorginho's, again, deficiencies, his inability to play against much of physical opponents, his inability to perform very well when opposition players press us aggressively, we're worse off without Jorginho. We don't have anybody else to fulfill that role as much as he can. And the truth remains, again, this hasn't. I'm not surprised we haven't learned this from Sarri to, again, you can say not really Frank Lampard, Sarri, Thomas Tuchel, and what's his name again, Graham Potter. These are managers that like to keep the ball. They like to control the game. And that's where, whether you like it or not, I'm going to use the term, a register comes into play. And Jorginho is one, and he's an expert at that. Better than anybody in the team. Again, nobody can fulfill that role as much as he can. So that's why, as long as we have him, as long as we can't do otherwise, we have to. It has to be Jorginho. And even Potter, even before his first game, said how important Jorginho was going to be for his, for his approach to the game. And that's because we can't, right now, we can't do otherwise. Loftus-Cheek there, nope. Who else? It's something N'Golo Kante is capable of doing it, but not as well as Jorginho does. Again, I don't know how to phrase that. Until we get a replacement who's better physically, able to control the game, able to orchestrate more vertical passes than sideways and backwards, then we can say, okay, drop into the bench or sell him. But right now, we cannot do otherwise, and we're worse off without Jorginho, whether we like it or not. Five subs manages us to try and make our changes a little earlier. Yeah, I think the changes, Porter didn't make the changes, again, as early as I expected them to, and I really didn't like that. Again, Jeff 5 only came off of injury. Yeah, I knew that. If you could see his face and the way he was working, that he was injured. I didn't think Potter would take him off. Again, he brings so much to the team. Yeah, his deficiencies will always, it cause us problems every now and then. But right now, we can't do otherwise. Even Italy always picks him, which is so boring. Yeah, exactly. He gets the job done. Again, you could say there's a chance he becomes an even better player under Graham Potter, because you could argue the way a player performs for a manager depends on what the manager demands of the player. It's as simple as that. I think I'm catching up now. I'm going to go put up another poll there. Again, I don't agree with you that we're worse off without him, honestly. Again, I got more. Again, see, I got more. That sounds like an Igbo name. Let me know if you're an Igbo brother. You have every right with your argument there. How else would you really, structure the team? Again, who would you pick in place of Jorginho to still be able to keep the ball comfortably and not struggle to keep the ball? From the days of Thomas Tuchel, you could go back to games where we struggled to control games or to keep the ball. If you look at them, usually Jorginho isn't on the pitch. Even on his worst days, like Declan have argued here before, if you look at Jorginho on his worst day, compare the error he makes to how many successful passes he made in a game, you see the ratio actually bad. But it's usually worse when he makes that mistake and we concede from it. That's when people won't even pay. That's when you can say, don't pay attention to the ratio. That's who he is. He's a regista, and he's accustomed to that rule of trying to always control the ball, make sure your team keeps the ball. He's not into booting the ball forward. Maybe if the manager demands that again and lets him know it doesn't have to be pretty always, then that makes a huge difference. Again, like I said before, the manager's demands can define how a player plays. And that's why you're able to see a certain player play badly under a certain manager and then becomes one of the best in the whole world under a certain manager. It's as simple as that. But no worry, bro. Again, your argument is taken. Again, that's why we're here. See, I got more who? Again, and here we have, again, Jorginho is not good. It doesn't matter how good he is on the ball. if you always need someone to protect him, not strong, again, and no pace, it's a man's position. Yep, those are the regular arguments. Those are usual arguments when people talk about Jorginho's, again, deficiencies. But the truth remains, again, we cannot do otherwise at this point. So he starts, and like Liam Lane said already, he was taken up just because he was injured, not really because he was playing bad. Yes, I'm Igbo. Thank you, One. Thank you for saying that, my brother Onyenkim. I appreciate you. Welcome again to the channel, and be sure to tell more people about the channel. Thank you for the support. Again, we need him for pens. And yeah, if it was for penalties alone, I'd say just let him go. Eventually he will leave the club. And again, like we're learning, it doesn't look like the club is looking to extend his stay at the club. If we can bring in other players who are able to fulfill the Jorginho role, maybe that's when you say, again, it will be easy to let him go. But to be honest, I think Jorginho himself may be looking to leave on a free, because he's won practically everything with Chelsea. He's won the Champions League, the Europa Cup, Club World Cup, and also the Super Cup. That's 4 trophies. Again, he wouldn't mind living on a free and going back to Italy, where, again, you could say Juve want him. They do want him. I got more. It's not Igbo, it's Igbo. Sometimes you can spell it as IBO, Frank Auba. Again, you can spell it Igbo as IBO. And I think probably in most books it's spelled as IBO, not IGB. IGB, probably for the sole purpose of helping people pronounce it easily. He's spelling it Igbo, but that's, by the way, it's called Igbo actually. Igbo, but the G is, I'm not into the silent thing. Actually, if it should be silent, take it off the word. It's as simple as that. Who's Jorginho's replacement right now? That's the question. That's a delicious comment right now. If you're saying, again, take him off the pitch, who would you select in place of Jorginho for us to still play our game, for us to still be able to control the game? It's difficult. That's the thing. That's why he's practically undroppable right now. Again, we don't have midfielders, especially fit midfielders. Yep, we have serious problem there. Thank you, Ndewo, to all the Igbo people there. Thank you very much for kindly saying that. Just Viola, I know you're Indian, but you always like speaking Igbo, especially when Choma is here. So I appreciate that. Again, let me see what we have in the rating here for Fofana, 86.6. I'm going to end the poll. That's a fair enough rating for me. So Fofana, 6.6. Okay, let's go to Uncle Silver there. Let's see how people rate him. I think, I think he was brilliant for us. His experience went a long way for us. Let me just say Silver. Okay, let me put rating there in case anybody's just joining so they understand what we're doing. Okay, here we have, I'm going to start from 7. I'm going to do an 8.5. I'm going to do 9. Yeah, maybe 7 or 8.5 and then 9. Let me ask that. Again, for Silva, for me, Silva was brilliant yesterday. Silva also, again, except for, again, that's too much of a risk for me. It wasn't about his pace. It was him trying to beat the marking, the player that was behind him with a move, and he failed woefully. But again, like I argued, some referee would give it as a foul. Some referee, he gets a red card. You could argue also that he had a player ahead of him, so he wasn't the last man. The rule is, but other than that, again, that's what he did, stopping the ball with his hand, was just, he knew the risk involved in doing that. But given his experience, Thiago Silva was willing to take the risk, to take one for the team, rather than us concede. That which was what, again, I've talked about it before, what Fofana did not do against Zagreb. He had time enough. Maybe he was trying to race against the guy outpace him and then put in a tackle. Again, even when he realized he couldn't measure the guy's pace, he couldn't outpace the guy. he should have, take one for the team. It's as simple as that. And there's a chance if he had taken one for the team, we'd still win the game, or it becomes again, and then it ends in a draw, and when we find ourselves in such a difficult situation now in the group. Even Conor Gallagher on his day, he got a second yellow, which was a better option than to let the player go beyond you and go and score. But in that game that Conor Gallagher got a second yellow, didn't we win that game? Remind me, correct me if I'm wrong. So my argument is that, again, he did the right thing. So, again, I'd rate him high if it was up to me. But let's see what those in the chat do. Usually, when you think they be on the same level with you, they do things differently. Again, people, if you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel. If you haven't, the likes do go a long way. The likes triggers the YouTube algorithm, and the YouTube algorithm pushes the stream to more people who would be interested in this particular topic. So, yeah. What Thiago Silva did, it was about experience. Again, he wasn't going to let that happen. Again, there's a chance had he let that, if he can let the guy pass him without stopping the ball like he did, he would have gotten the chance with that goal to score a second goal. And again, the most you could argue would get out of that game would be a draw. So it was experience. He knew the risk involved before he did that. And it was him that also created the chance. He had the experience to recognize Aubameyang was there waiting. He went for an assist and dropped it for Aubameyang with his head. And Aubameyang, what a delicious finish that was. But we get to that in a bit. Yep, again, thank you very much, guys. Let me see what else we have here. John Webb, again, do you remember... I really do not want to talk about Drinkwater right now. Like he says, do you remember Drinkwater? Kante makes everyone look world class. That's the truth. That's just the truth. That's a very good argument right there. Jorginho just don't cut it. Again, you keep playing him, you will eventually get fired. But what else can we do? And like I said, as long as we have a manager who prefers who likes to keep the ball, dominate games by tear out to position with or defend by keeping the ball, he's your man right now. There's no other person in the team that's capable of doing that. That's my argument. But you made that's a very, very solid argument right there. And again, I have to agree with you. Let me see what else we have here. Again, the Young would have been a brilliant signing for us. Moses from Mombasa, Kenya. Big up, bro. Moses, thank you for finding the time to join us again. I hope things are well with you and your Kenyan family and everybody in Kenya. Thank you for saying where you're from. I appreciate that, Moses. Thank you, and welcome to the channel. Feel at home, express yourself. Just the only rule is keep it civil. And again, don't come across as insulting to anybody. Silva was man of the match for me yesterday. I think he is. Again, Auba scored the goal, but again, it was Silva's brilliance. Again, recognizing that Aubameyang was there and staying up front. I think who was that passed the ball to Silva? I think it was Fofana. Was it Fofana that found Silva, who stood there and he nodded the ball down to Aubameyang to finish for that delicious finish? And again, that still shows you that Silva, again, he's not the most vocal. He leads by example. He really doesn't need to speak to lead. And like Ty and I pointed out during the watch along, he made more vertical passes than our midfielders did. Again, I wouldn't mind if I were the coach, I wouldn't mind playing him in the midfield area again. But that's by the way. If you're watching, please again, if you haven't liked the video and also do subscribe to the channel. Here's Fowler playing for Gabriel Jesus to get injured so that Arsenal will start faltering. Again, I don't wish players that, even though the opposition players. Please like and subscribe when you enter if you have not, as it helps the channel reach more people. Yes, please keep liking the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, that goes a long way for the channel. Again, bringing Costa back. He looked a bit rusty. There's a chance you could argue he had one chance for Wolves yesterday that on his day he'd put it away. But I think he's still not fully fit yet. But when he came on, you could see how he was gingering his teammates, urging them on, telling them what to do. His play overall wasn't bad. Maybe it's a fitness thing that is not yet starting games for them. It wasn't a goal scoring opportunity. So Again, a yellow card for me. Again, it depends on the referee. I know one or two pigeon words. I know quite a lot. I do speak pigeon very well. Again, Reece James had a great game too. He had a great game. Attacking wise, no. We were expecting him to do more attacking wise, but overall, like RBC said when he was on here, it was a professional performance from the whole team. Something seemed off, and now again, if you paid attention, looking back, you could come to the conclusion. You come to the conclusion that it was due to the international break. It hasn't favored us at any time, because every time there's an international break, we have almost nearly the whole team traveling because they're all internationals. But that's, by the way, here we have Silva cannot play midfield, a little too old. It depends. How about Modric? You tell me. His intelligence is the whole thing. His intelligence is the reason. So Thiago Silva's intelligence is the reason why I argue. Again, he's able to read the game so well that you won't even get the chance to race against him, let alone outpace him. And you can see the mistake he's made before didn't come down due to any player. None of them is down to any player outpacing him. It's him mistiming his tackle, or him trying to make to employ one move or the other to beat the player and then makes a mistake in the process. I hope you get the point. So I'm going to bring in Bobby, but before I do that, Silva's rating 8.5, 61%. I think, yeah, he deserves 8.5 rating. Bobby, just quickly, before I put out the next poll out there, I hope you're doing well, brother.
I'm good. I just thought I'll jump in and join you, so I've missed quite a lot.
Yeah, brilliant. But yeah, I can still take you back a bit. Tell us what you think. Have you had the time to watch the game?
Yes, I did.
What do you think about the performance overall?
Well, I just caught the tail end of what you said about international break. It's clear that's the case. I think Potter hasn't had these players with him, so he's still looking at them. And he went for the same reasons he fielded the players against Leipzig. He did it again against Palace. I think he would have learned. I think people like Mason Mount need some time on the bench, because Conor Gallagher has shown that at the moment he should be picked ahead of him to play that, further up the pitch. He took his goal well, and he showed what he could do. The midfield remains a problem. I don't know what's going on with Zakaria. Definitely against AC Milan, that midfield is going to have to be sharp, because Rafael Leao, you can't just leave Reece James to handle him alone. He's a real handful, and the support from the midfield is going to be key, especially in the absence of N'Golo Kante, who, if he had been around, I would have felt a bit better, because he forms one of the barriers. But yeah, I mean, Aubameyang showed what he's about, which is good. Broja, well, he's still coming on as a bit part. I can imagine he won't start him against AC Milan, although I wouldn't be worried if he did, but I can imagine he'll go for the experience of Aubameyang.
But we'll most likely see a start for him soon, because the games are all chained. They're coming in thick and fast. Go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. He's being bedded in, and maybe it's a good thing. But yeah, I mean, Thiago Silva, if I'm honest, I know he was fouled before he handballed, but we were lucky, because usually with the referees we get,
It could have gone either way.
Yeah, they don't usually give us that those concessions. My only worry about that is that they save up the bad refereeing for us against the big teams. And I don't want them to be doing us these favours now. And then when we play the likes of Liverpool and Arsenal, they go back to their usual nonsense. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? Thank God we won. We needed those 3 points. And all attention has to be on the Tuesday or Wednesday and AC Milan, for sure, because I watched them yesterday. they're a good team. They're beatable, but they're a good team. We need to get
Leao was on fire.
Oh, Leao was he's something else. He really is.
Yeah, let me catch up with the chat. I'll come back with you. We'll start again the rating. If you see, and you let me know if you're again okay with all the rating we've seen so far. Again, Gallagher should play against Mount. He can again spam crosses. I think Gallagher for me should be rotating with Mount, and that will push Mount. And again, like I've argued before, he brings more. Again, what you get more from Gallagher that you don't get from Mount. He always gets into the box, and his runs. I think his positioning. Again, this is not me saying Mount is a bad player. He has a more positioning sense than Mount has. And he has an eye for goal. He gets you more goals if he plays closer to the final third. And I'm happy to see Porter. Don't see him as a deep midfielder, whether lying with a hybrid of 6 and 8, like we're saying on the Thomas Tuchel. That makes a huge difference for me. Again, Modric has pace. Not really. Not really. Again, Pace isn't one of those attributes that define Modric. Again, his playing style. It's his intelligence, his passing ability, his vision. It's not pace. Without pace, he'd still be on the pitch. Again, if his body can carry him, Modric can still be playing until he's 45, because it's all about his vision and passing ability. Again, but I get your point. Bobby, here's Lionel here. I know, I understand he's just joking. You remember the day we had a heated debate on the panel. He said something about Thomas Tuchel, and you say he's not a Chelsea fan. So here he's saying Bobby is not a Chelsea fan. I know you understand he's joking. Big up to my brother Lionel Joel. I hope you're doing well. If you haven't, go check out his channel. Be sure to subscribe. Let him send you again. If you Lionel, you can share the link to your channel yourself there so that people can go check it out. And believe me, people, you will not regret it. Again, I just hope he puts out more content, but it doesn't look like he has much time for that. Again, he's such good football analytical man, and understands again very well who is a coach. I'm not sure what that question means. Again, Bobby is a Chelsea fan. Yeah, Bobby is a Chelsea fan. Lionel he knows exactly what he's doing. He's just remembering the argument, the heated debate we had on the panel. He said something that made Bobby say, you're not a Chelsea fan by saying that. Yes, people, like the stream and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We have 36 likes. That's good. Again, we can get it to 50 as soon as possible. No, so there aren't too many people watching, but we can do better than that. So please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thank you so much for all the support. I cannot thank you enough. And by the way, on the 4th is my birthday, and I think I will do a giveaway that day. And then I'm still restructuring the Roman Abramovich tribute contest. There was some ideas that we should forget about it. It's past now. No, again, it's important to do it when people seem to have forgotten about the man. That's why it's a tribute contest. You remember the man again. So again, we'll still do that, and I hope we get it done by the middle of the month. There were calls for people to submit their interest. I got nothing, so I'm moving it again. But I'll come back with a restructure so people get acquainted to that. Again, should we look at Griezmann as our creator? Again, there's a whole lot of problem there that I don't want to go into. He's no different from Dembele in terms of seeing things from some aspect. I don't want to talk about it again, so it doesn't sound like I'm obsessed with it. We'll move on. We're humans. We'll make mistakes. But here's the thing. But one I want to talk about immediately is his salary. He's on a very, very high wage that even Barcelona, you could say, wanted them out. They had to let out some video of some issues they had in the past. Let the public see it because they want them out again. No, I don't think so. He's capable of doing that for us, but I don't think we should go for him. Do we still have a chance to prove? Yeah, mathematically, yes. But it's tight. We have to win the next one, then we'll take it from there. Again, our chance of making it out of the group is that we win, and then we hope for other results to go our way. It's really not that simple. You say here, we see again, it says, don't I know why we would get that head and shoulders matter, to be honest. Okay, I don't want to get into that. Bobby, your rating for Benchirol, again, since you've had the time to watch the game, how would you rate his performance?
Many players didn't do that well,
Yeah.
Chile, I don't think he did that well. I mean, he wasn't bad, but It wasn't one of his best performances. I would give him a 6.
Yeah, the chat thinks a 6.5, so it's close. Yeah, 6.5. I think here's the thing. It was easy to, maybe to undervalue the output of Reece James and Ben Chilwell yesterday. I think overall, yes, it was a disjointed performance. We didn't see so much of harmony between the players, but I think Porter was a bit cautious. I think it was a cautious approach because Reece James didn't venture forward that much, and so did Ben Chilwell. So I think it was a very cautious approach. And it worked. It was a professional performance overall. Was it pretty? No, but at least we got the win. And I think if you ask me, I think Porter should have made the changes earlier, tweaked the things earlier than he did. What do you think, Bobby?
Yeah, I think it was more about the fact that they were back from international duty. There's always that sort of jaded approach to players coming back from international duty. Well, the English lads, you can't say it was travelling because they only played in Wembley. So I don't know, but they were not on form, any of them.
Yeah, they weren't. Again, it turns out the standout player was the player you were calling for us to rest. And again, for obvious reasons, you were calling for him to be rested, so for us not to overplay him. And when we need him the most, again, he'd be injured. It was Thiago Silva, but oh my gosh, he turned out to be the best player on the day. What do you think, Bobby? Okay, I'm gonna wait for Bobby if he comes back.
I'm muting.
Yeah,
yes,
go ahead.
Thiago, the standout players for me yesterday was Thiago Silva, Kepa, and Gallagher when he came on. Thiago, yes, I mean we're definitely going to need him against Milan. That was why I wanted him rested. I want him to play in that game because Italian sides are always very tactical. You need to have people that know what they're doing on the pitch. But yes, he was the better player. I think it's excellent that actually he played alongside Fofana because you could see that Fofana is young. These young kids, they are going to make mistakes. But having somebody like Thiago Silva beside him, he will pick up things. He really will. So, yeah, I mean, clearly for me, man of the match would have to probably go to Thiago Silva or Kepa.
Yeah, I'm thinking that again, Thiago Silva will most likely now be rested against Milan. That's what I'm thinking.
That's really strange because Milan is the one game that you want him to play.
How about the logic? How about the logic that again, Milan is a team that Koulibaly he's used to playing against?
And he played for Milan before, didn't he? So he knows about the club.
Napoli. No, he played in Italy.
Yeah, Koulibaly played for Napoli, but Thiago Silva played for AC Milan earlier.
Yeah, he played for AC Milan, yes.
So he understands the club. He may not have, the same players around, but he understands the club. Look, and he certainly understands Zanetti because I think he played with Zanetti, and that's their manager.
Yeah, but I think we're losing. We're losing Bobby. I'm going to keep talking if he comes back and he can come in. You're being. Go ahead. Yeah, I think
I'd rather he's rested against Wolves.
Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
It's coming in and out, but go ahead.
Okay, I was saying that I would rather he's rested against Wolves and then you bring him on for this Milan game because, it's going to be a game that you're going to need players that are experienced, that know what to do, because they are a tricky side. I watched them yesterday and they're not shrinking violet. I think we can beat them, but we've got to be on our best game, and we haven't been recently.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they've got the threat of Liao, and he really is a threat. He carries that team offensively.
Yeah, again, it's not going to be an easy game. But I hope Graham Potter keeps them guessing like it's like he's doing now. Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah, and here again,
I'm sure he will. I mean,
go ahead. I'll let you finish. It looks like you're driving too.
Really knows.
It looks like you're on the road too, Bobby.
Yeah, I am.
Okay, but go ahead, finish your point. No worries, I can hear you.
Up?
Yeah, it's going in and out.
Okay. All right. I was just saying that nobody at the moment knows how Chelsea is going to play because this has only been Potter's second game, and there are some players he hasn't even used. So I feel that is a bit of an advantage. But I think quite a few of the players we saw playing against Palace will play again against Milan. Simply because they're the experienced ones. I think we're going to need Cucurella back. I hope he's fit.
If it's an illness, I think he needs just a few days to recover. It depends. We're not sure what it is. Hopefully, it's not COVID. Yeah. But
I think he had a throat infection.
Okay. Oh, yeah. I think I've seen that somewhere too. Yeah, but I hope he gets better. Yeah, but I hope it makes sense that the rotation will be key. It's going to be a very busy period. The games are coming in thick and fast. And Liam says again, you're being very candid to Mount Coachella, starting over 6 for his rating. Yeah, again, I know if I had a 3 there, people would vote 3 for him, but I think it deserves up to 6 at least. But yeah, but it's a bit too late. Somebody actually rated him gave him 8. Yeah, but so I don't know.
Mount has got to be put on the bench. He has to have some bench time. He's not on form, and I don't think we're helping him by playing him. He needs to be told by him being put on the bench that he's not on form. It's almost an insult to people like Pulisic and Gallagher that he's playing ahead of them at the moment.
Yeah, but let me ask you this. Wouldn't you say, again, to me, I think Ty and you were there during the pregame show. We talked about how playing him deep can be an issue. Because the truth is, he hasn't played there for a while. So again, which means he has to readapt. All his output were all about his industry, his energy, his presence. Other than that, no productivity from other aspects such as creating goals, shooting, or making good runs. Again, so I think playing him there will always, again, I think that's an issue for me. What do you think? His performance yesterday, wouldn't you say it's down to where he was deployed?
Was he playing deep yesterday? I don't think he was.
In the sense here alone, from Mount is deep. He's used to playing further forward, closer to the final third, as one of the 2/8s mainly. So that's a difference, deploying him as one of the 2/8s. And here, you could call that deep too. Not in the central area, but on the flanks too, but still, further backwards and forward. That to me, again, it's an issue. And again, I'm not trying to make excuses for him. Yeah, your connection is really breaking up, but I understand. Your connection, you may have to go out.
I think we are constantly making excuses for him.
You think so?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Go ahead.
I think we are always making excuses for him. Potter played a 4-2-2-2.
Yeah, that was really the formation, 4-2-2-2. Yeah. So let's just go like this.
Yeah, Mount was in advance of the two, so and in the middle of the two sets of twos. So I don't really see that as a worthy argument. His job is to go up and down on the pitch. He's just not on form. It's as simple as that. Because Gallagher came on and played the exact same position and did so much better, offensively and defensively. So if he's not on form, he's not on form. If he's on the bench and he comes on like he did for England, I think it would help him start to get his form back, rather than have him kind of get embarrassed by opposition midfielders, which isn't doing him any good. It's making him look worse than perhaps, he probably is at the moment. So Mount needs to be on the bench for now. I mean, definitely. He's down the pecking order. I personally think he's behind Gallagher and Pulisic at the moment.
Yeah, given a recent form.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, let me catch up with the side. I'll come back again. I'll get your rating of 4. Again, we'll say Havertz, then we'll go back to the midfield, or maybe let's say Jorginho. Here we have, again, Mount needs a rest, not having none of this dropping him completely. Again, you can argue that, but if Mount and Gallagher are vying for the same position, at this point, if it were up to me, I'd straight up take Gallagher and not Mount. That's not me saying Mount is a bad player. I definitely understand what he brings to the team. He differs a bit from Gallagher, but my issue is, again, maybe a change. Even if he didn't play that deep, like the structure, because these guys, they think it was 4-4-2. Again, but I don't think it was. Yeah, I think you're right. It was actually 4-2-2-2, maybe application-wise. But if you say if it's a 4-4-2 and he's playing in this position, that to me is a bit deeper than usual for him, which means he needs to readapt, which is something I've talked about already. But we're not going to get into that. I want to say again, let's see, Bobby, your thoughts. How would you rate Jorginho's performance yesterday?
Who?
Jorginho.
Whose performance?
Jorginho.
You know me and Georgie. Yeah, I give him 3. 3. Jorginho's the problem.
Go ahead.
He's a problem. We played a system that didn't require how he plays. That's why you found Silva putting long balls to the forwards, even going forward himself, because the middle was unnecessary. It wasn't effective. And that's Jorginho. What is he doing there yesterday? What did he actually bring to the table? Nothing. He didn't offer protection. He didn't offer balls to the forwards. Okay, say his job is there to protect. Let's say that. And he's not there to create. Well, what did he protect? Nothing. I don't know. I think he's there because he's been with us a while. He's an experienced guy. He plays well in a certain system. But if you ask me, he's a passenger at the moment, and I give him a 3 for sure.
Yeah, I think you didn't mention it well. I think yeah, I get everything. 3. And I'm not surprised. Here's the thing. I think the midfield overall, again, midfielders were awful. Jorginho, Kovacic, they were all awful. Very in it. Again, like I said, I think Ty countered it actually when I made mention of how it was Thiago Silva who was making the vertical passes and not the midfielders. The midfielders were playing it safe, keeping the ball, but in a useless manner, backwards, sideways, separate options. Again, I think they were awful, but I wouldn't rate them a 3. I would not give them a 3. Let's see what those in the chat, what they do. But I get your point, really. I really understand. The midfield's performance yesterday was awful. And let me go straight to again and end it, see how many samples we have. Again, if you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. The rating there is 86%. I think it's a 5. So I'm going to give him a 5. Okay, I'm going to end it. Say Jorginho gets a 5. So, Bobby, how about Kovacic?
Kovacic, he didn't have a good game either. I think there's a limit to how much, as a midfielder, you are covering the deficiencies of your partner. So I think because he wasn't on form, he wasn't as efficient as he usually is, and he had a bad game.
He traveled too.
Yeah, he traveled. So, I think, sometimes, I think in a way it's a good thing is happening because it's beginning to get us to see that Chelsea needs some serious surgery to that midfield. I give Cover a 5 for yesterday, but he needs help. And I'm very, very keen on Zakaria, because if Zakaria is unable to give us anything in midfield, then I ask the question, why on earth did we get him? What is the point? Another São Miguel. What for? That's not acceptable.
Here's go ahead.
So let's wait and see what he does for us. But Chelsea midfield is a real problem. The attackers would score more if the midfielders were better, and the defense would be better protected. For example, look at the goal. It started from, Fofana misplaced the pass. The ball was taken out to the right to, I think it was Eze from Palace. Okay, let's say it got there. Let's say it got to him. But if we had efficient midfielders vis-a-vis Mr. Jorginho Frello, that guy could have been chased down before he put the ball in for Eduardo to score. There were gaps in the middle of the park which were readily available for them to exploit. Not good enough.
Yeah, not really. It was crazy today. Again, Kovacic, you could say he's usually the only one that plays even when every other player on the pitch performs. Yesterday he didn't. He looked a lot seemed off. I think he looks jet lagged. I'd make an excuse for him. He's that good. And he's been one of our most consistent players of late. Yes, people, please again like and subscribe. When you enter, if you haven't, this helps the channel reach a wider audience. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Again, Kimso here says, Thiago Silva, again, emotional returner to AC Milan. Hasn't he played against them since he left Milan for PSG? Is that the case? Please let me know. I think he's played against them on occasions. Let me know if he hasn't, really. I want to know. And then I see people want Conor to take his spot. Let me remind you of a certain red card not so long ago. You just, Glenn, it looks like you're here for the fight today. Again, but I get your argument. Quite a lot of people wanted him out then. Now a lot of people wanted him to take Mason Mount's place. I think they're both good players. We need to keep them both. But Mason Mount maybe needs to be rested or maybe played in a position where he feels comfortable playing. I think maybe the structure affected his display yesterday. I'm not sure where to start that argument because I really do like him as a player. Again, I agree with Bobby on Silva. Yep, again, Silva and Koulibaly against Milan. 2 of them? No, I think 1 of them. I think I'd say, it's just, again, you could say Silva would enjoy playing against Milan. Again, you could say Koulibaly also, he's played against them, in Italy, so he used to playing against them. So I'm not sure which argument, trumps the other in terms of picking who should start against them. I don't see both of them starting. I think 1 of them only starts. Again, if it comes to the case that only 1 of them will start, it probably most likely given that Silva played today, I think it will most likely be Koulibaly. Again, I'm not sure, but we'll see. Reece James will stop Leao. Again, Leao doesn't only hog the lines. I think he's a very intelligent runner, but we'll see what happens. Reece is capable of just stopping him if he hogs the line and tries to make it through that flank, the left-hand side of the flanks. We'll see what happens here. That's what, Liam, be careful there. Did you see Zakaria switching flanks? Because Reece was too much for him. Zaha, so to speak. Yeah, again, that happened. Again, Reece, again, was more reserved in his approach yesterday. He didn't venture forward that much. You could say, again, it was a Potter's preferred approach to that game, being defensively cautious and not to concede. Again, Mount rating should be a 2. He was absolutely terrible and was out. Auba's player, he's been terrible all season. Thiago Silva offers more of a creative threat than Mount, than all of our midfielders. Again, one at John 10. Again, I think is that a biblical verse you're quoting? 1 John chapter 1. I'm not sure if that's the case. Let me know if that's the case. But here's the thing. I want to say this. Mount isn't a bad player. I'm still arguing this. Something is off. I don't know what it is. Probably the whole thing may have come down to the new structure. I'm not sure. Because even if it is 4-2-2, like most people think it is, I haven't rewatched the game. Here still, I think will be a bit off for him. Again, given the application, which means he'll be operating along these lines. But we'll see what happens. Again, he needs to readapt to if that's the case. Let me see what else I have here. If there's anything else. Jampot, I see you again. Sorry that I can't read everything right now because we're rating. After the rating, then I'll try to read everything we have there. Glenn says, not at all, coach. You know me. I'm not a reactionary, mate. A great, lovely goal from Conor Gallagher. I needed to rephrase that. It was a delicious goal. I know it's not eatery, but it was a delicious goal. But thank you. I understand you very well, Glenn. I was just getting happy for him as I like Conor, but we cannot get ahead of ourselves like this. Mount needs a rest 100%. It could be he needs to recover mentally again, but the industry will always be there. The running, again, the pressing will always be there. But the decision making and all that will make you know this guy needs a bit of a break. I think Mount, he's played the most games, again, since he emerged as a Chelsea senior player. Aubameyang scores against AC Milan, his former club. That rejected him. I hope that happens. The other 10 podcasts, bro, again, I'm going to remind you, I don't need to, you can always share the link to your channel if you're here. Again, you don't need to consult with me before you do that, but nice to see you, bro. I hope you're doing well. He says, Silva was great, but the rating deserves an asterisk since he really wasn't supposed to be on the pitch. Stop. Just stop right now. I'm not going to do that. Again, you're right, Coach Mount is not bad. And I was thinking he has skins to supporting me. And he knew I was going to read it, so probably phrased it right. But I'm not going to read it all. Oh my goodness. Again, thank you again for 40 likes. If you haven't, take a second to like the video. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Let me plug in the rating for, again, Kovacic rating 6.5, 75%. I think it's a deserved rating. Again, he can always get away with such a bad performance, but it wasn't him. The whole team overall, except a few exceptions there, he didn't really do that bad. So let me see, 6.5 for Kovacic. Mount, we've read it, Mount, J5. Now we're going to have that. Again, I'm going to intentionally put a lower number there, but he has a lot of haters there. But I think he had a good game, actually. He was running. He was physical. He dealt with the physical aspect of the game quite well. And again, he was pivotal to the way we performed in the attacking area. Again, if you haven't, please take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Havard's rating. Okay, let me see what people, if people will be kind enough here. I'm going to start with 6.5. I'm going to start with a 7. I don't think I should go up to 8 for him. Maybe a 7.5. Yeah, he wasn't. Again, he wasn't that bad. He wasn't better either. So again, a 6.5 is good. Let me go see what the community says. Again, Here we have it. It's Kami, big up, bro. Again, lateness is greatness. Thank you for finding time to join. I hope you're well. Let me know again that things are quite okay with you. Again, Starling needs us to stay on the left. For me, was too quiet on the right. Again, that's just some excuse because he had some brilliant chances. There was one. Starling is predominantly right-footed, right? He had a chance to shoot, and I was expecting him to shoot. He kept cutting back in, back out again unnecessarily. It wasn't. I think it was an awful performance from him yesterday. I think. Yeah, Jamport Entertainment, big up, bro. Wagwan, I hope you're well. Let me know. He says again, yesterday's Loftus-Cheek should have started. Yep, in a 4-4-2 structure, Loftus-Cheek here would have enjoyed the game. He would have had a brilliant game. Again, I just don't know why he didn't start. And when he came in, he had to go straight to the midfield. Probably he's the most, again, after Jorginho, he's the closest to the person with that ability to be able to fulfill the Jorginho role. But again, I thought maybe he'd start here over Havertz. Because he didn't travel either. So I just don't know. Maybe he needs more time to work with Graham Potter, but we'll see. Let me see just quickly. I want to take care of something. Let's reach the 400. Please go. Okay, yep. Now I'm going to share the link to Ty Talks YouTube channel. He's a brother and a friend. And again, he's trying to reach a certain milestone, a very important milestone to help him, again, unlock some crucial, you can say important, to help him unlock some important features, and I think we can help him there. Again, I'll say please go and subscribe. Go and sub to Ty's YouTube channel. Just give me a second here. Please go and sub to Ty's channel. Let's help him get to that important milestone as soon as possible. He deserves it. All the hard work. I know school hasn't allowed him the time to, to create more of those delicious comments that we're used to seeing in his channel. But here's the link to Ty's YouTube channel. Please go and subscribe. Let's let him reach that important milestone that he's trying to reach. He deserves it. He has some good videos, especially if you want to learn more about what is called the anti-Glazers clause, which was inserted on the contract for the sale of Chelsea Football Club. You need to go watch it. Again, there's no other better explanation out there. Ty did a great job there, and you can say that's one of his best videos. So please go and subscribe and let him know I sent you. Again, that's by the way. And Glenn here says, Glenn says I think Germany might have cloned Havertz, and they kept the good, good one. Expected more from him yesterday. Here's the thing, Glenn, you let me know what you think. What I want to say is this regarding our players' performances yesterday, which that, again, the international break hasn't been, again, it's been bad for us. You could say a lot of traveling, no matter how you see it. Every time, even times we win 1 million games in a row, and then if the 1,000,001 game comes after an international break, we usually falter. That has always been the case. We usually underperform. Again, we should say actually we're lucky to have come out with a win in this case because they had chances to put away the game. They had so many good chances. Again, I still think maybe I'll redo the poll for Kepa Arrizabalaga rating. I think he deserves more than what we're looking at there. And here we have again. Hi, just we all again. Just saying hi to just. Why did I even read that? Okay. Again, a Mount needed to rub the bench on for a while because yesterday he was horrible. And again, I wouldn't blame him for his performance yesterday. I'm making that argument because I think he's a good player. But there are players I thought would have started. I thought Christian Pulisic would have started, but I knew there was an excuse to bench him because he traveled probably farther than most people there. Most of the available players did, so it was easy to make up that excuse and drop into the bench. Morning, coach. I am good. I've just been sleeping. I am on the night shift. It's important. I've worked night shift before, and hopefully, again, whenever you drive home, drive careful if you work night shift. Again, yeah, I understand. Bills don't pay themselves too, so thank you for finding the time to join. Sterling holds under too much, and sometimes he overdoes it. It doesn't. Did he even come with that City mentality to Chelsea Football Club, where City again, it's about team play, and especially in the final third, when there's somebody to pass the ball to, you pass the ball to the person. He didn't seem again. It doesn't seem like he joined us. It just seems as if he didn't. He did not join us with that City mentality of always looking for the best positioned player. Again, even if it's not his preferred foot, yeah, I get the argument. I think he hogs the ball too much. And again, bro, please don't forget to share the link to your channel, and hopefully we get a chance to do a collab soon. I'd really appreciate that. Jam Pots Entertainment says, Ty, why haven't you posted any new videos? Ty, it's school. School is important. Again, that should be his priority, and I think it makes sense. For me, let me tell you guys something. Again, as much as I love making videos, I could argue that one of the reasons why I haven't finished my doctoral program was because of how obsessed I'm with YouTube. But that changes. I will restart my program soon. But again, I'll have people host the shows while I'm not here, so that I will focus and get my doctoral program done. So it can be time consuming. So I don't even advocate for Ty to play with education. I'd rather him focus on his education and then only make videos when time allows. Yeah. So again, here's Ty Talks. The link to Ty Talks YouTube channel. Go check it out. Be sure to subscribe. He's looking to get to 400 subscribers as soon, but we can actually help him get to 500 as soon as possible. So he unlocks a very important feature. He'd be able to post on the community tab, which helps his channel grow faster. He deserves more than that. Again, people, like the video if you haven't, and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Here, Liam says again, reminds you again, please like the video, people. Again, it helps the channel reach a wider audience. We have 40 likes. That's not easy, even though we have few people watching. 40 isn't easy. I'd be ungrateful not to say thank you for 40 likes. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Havertz was good, but he was good, better than he's done in the past, even though he traveled. I think, again, one thing is I think we're going to be seeing quite a lot of Havertz on the ground, Potter. He seemed to like him as a player because his intelligence, again, like I've argued, is that type of player. You don't know what he's doing on the pitch until you take him off, or if he's not playing. Again, he's more like the engine in the attacking area. He coordinates the plays. Again, it makes them thick. Thick, I don't know how it's to phrase it for it to make sense. True. Just figured that goal would get him a start again. Again, here we have again. Kepa had a great game. He had a brilliant game. Again, he was brilliant. So that's why I don't like the 7. I'll have to redo Kepa's rating again to see people think about it. Selhurst, man. Again, why TV01? I don't see that happening. The fact that Porter stats him shows you he sees something he likes in him. Maybe he's been tasked to get the best out of him. Havertz is actually he's a good player, and he's still very young. We seem to forget that. And again, a lot of things that he could argue that contributed to his lack of consistency. And plus, he found himself in a situation where he's always the player that Thomas Tuchel, the coach, goes to when they don't have certain personnel to fulfill a certain role on the team. He's played on the right hand side, left hand side, one of the two 8s, a 10, as number 9. Again, he hasn't had the time to settle for a particular position. You could argue the same for Christian Pulisic. You could argue the same for Hakim Ziyech and all the players in the team. Again, they were everywhere. So maybe if we see again some measure of consistency with regards to how the manager deploys the players, maybe we'll start seeing the best of these players again. I say, yeah, those things do come into play. But that's, by the way, again, Havertz was good yesterday. Really unlucky to not to score after making that brilliant solo run. He's a good player, and I think Potter recognizes that. You will smash it, Coach. Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate that for you saying that. Again, keep smashing the like button, people. Like the video if you haven't. Also, do recommend the channel to all the people who like consuming Chelsea-related content. We keep it positive here, and it's not about the panelists here. It's about you. It's interactive. Again, who do you guys want to win today with Man United and Man City? A draw would be good. Again, I don't know how to answer that question. I look at the table before I can come to decide who I want to win. Again, jump out into them and saying, I'm going to share your channel with 200 of my Facebook contacts. Everyone in the comments should do the same. Thank you very much, Jampods Entertainment. I appreciate that. And again, if you haven't, share the link to your channel. Tell people more about it. You don't even have to tell me. I've told you that. You've earned it. Again, the crybaby, something good. He was good. Again, I don't blame him. He's a good player overall. But the way he handled his lack of game time, I didn't like. I mean, I hope that changes quite a lot. Again, Jump On Entertainment, you do realize Man City will win, irrespective of what we. Yeah, I get it. Just be nice. Just be like, get your argument there. And the poll now says, let me see what we have. And the poll here says, okay, Havertz rating 6.5 or 50%, and that's fair enough. But I get him up to a 7. But remember, we'll have to redo that of Kepa Arrizabalaga. We have to, really. So Havertz is 6.5. Okay, we have Havertz 6.5 here. Auba. Aubameyang. Okay, let's see. Let me get your thought. I think and yesterday something Ty himself highlighted about Aubameyang's performance. He's not static. If he doesn't see the ball, he drops deep. To come get it, to come participate in the play, and that's a very, very critical aspect of his way of playing that I like, because him doing that. If the opposition defenders focus on him, focus on trying to stop him, when he drops deep, he most likely will draw those players that are focused on stopping, drawing them out of position, and at the same time creating a chance for his attacking a pair in there, or his fellow attackers there. Again, and the finish itself was delicious. It was brilliant. I loved it. And I have to be honest, again, he deserves a 9. If you ask me, even again, he wasn't poor. He did quite well. He was dropping deep, helping, participating in the play. That means quite a lot to me. And that was why Kimso in the chat already said Aubameyang is better than Romelu Lukaku. That's one thing you don't get from Lukaku, is dropping deep and participate in the play. Again, he lose three. You can say this is not me. Again, as much as I don't want to bash him, but the truth remains, you can say at least 3 times out of 10 times you pass the ball to him, he will not be able to get it under control as he should. No, let's cheer on Man United in this one. Again, Inju, Haaland, and Drotami. No, again, if United win, then we would have issues making it into the top 4. So I'd rather Man City win, because already they're going to win the league. They look like they're going to win it. Again, a good goal by Auba. Pardon my pronunciation. That's the Nigerian. You can say dialect to me. But here's the thing. It was Drogba-esque, given that he had his back to the post and then he had to turn and shoot and put it far beyond the reach for the goalkeeper. Yep, again, so it was a delicious finish. Great finish, delicious finish, we say here. But yeah, great finish indeed. Here, Aubameyang can be Benzema. Again, given his age, and it's still a fine finisher. Yes, he's one of those players that you can say pace is one of the factors that define the way he plays. But overall, his intelligence, is one of the most important factors of the way he plays. His dynamic runs, his finishing ability, not really his pace. Yeah, his pace he can get away with opposition defenders, but his finishing ability is something else. And big up to Steve Chelsea, bigger brother. Thank you for finding the time to join the show. I appreciate all the retweets that helps the channel reach more people. Again, your followers on Twitter, again, they're great, and thank you. I appreciate all that. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Yes, again, Jump Pot Entertainment here is YouTube channel. You have to tell people what they get when they subscribe to your channel. that would make more sense to them. Go check it out. Do subscribe. Let's support him as much as we are supporting Thai Talks. Again, big up again, Steve Chelsea. I hope you're well. Thank you for saying hello to him. Bobby is back again. I don't know if he's still driving. See, Gallagher's playing free role. If it was under Tuchel, he would have done again, letting him off a position. There's a chance again. He likes playing him deep, and I haven't actually seen him play him for the forward, except on occasions. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. He had his back towards a goal because the goalkeeper kept going. Obama what? Yeah, again, that's a delicious one. Then I like it. Laughter here and then is good. When you allow players to play in their natural positions, they will cook. Yep, and he cooked something delicious yesterday. It was a brilliant goal. But now we're talking about, again, Aubameyang's, his rating and his goal. I was going to ask Bobby his thoughts, but he's gone. But that's, by the way, again, keep liking the video, guys. We're at 42 likes. We still get it to 100 likes by the time the show ends. But it's up to you, again, if you think we can. Last night, I was watching some videos of Hazard at Chelsea, and tears came to my eyes because I know it will be longer before we see another player of his caliber. Yeah, there will never be another Hazard. Maybe we can get players who are also capable of, as Hazard can, capable of helping us win games, pulling the rabbit out of the hat to help us win games. But Hazard will always be different. And again, then there were talks whether the club would go for him and all that, given his recent interview on how he wants to play. And my argument is, how about if the club sees him again as more of a revenue, you can say a revenue point, a revenue channel, given that every time Real Madrid wins, he gets something, and we get millions in paycheck from them. So maybe the club may well prefer him staying there. We don't know. Omari Hutchinson is coming, boys. No worries. Is he that capable? Are you really comparing Omari Hutchinson to Eden Hazard? Is that really what you're doing there, Glenn? But here's the thing. I think he's been training with the first team, and that's a good sign, which means the manager trusts him. I don't know, when did he start training with the first team? Was it because of the international break and we had quite a number of the youth players join just to make up the numbers with the senior team? But again, he's a stand-up player, I've heard. If he gets the chance, I'd love it. But let's see what happens. Now, Mount and Gallagher can shoot outside 18. Who else? I wouldn't start them both in the same game. I don't know. I've argued that before. But I don't want to get into that argument right now. Again, I wanted to say something. It just escaped me. But if it comes to mind again, I'll talk about it. Here we have, again, smash that like button, people. Yes, we have, again, 42 likes. We can do better than that. Keep liking the video. Let's get it to 60 likes as soon as possible. Just 20 more to get it there. Trossard, yeah, from Brighton, had Liverpool by their neck yesterday. He scored a hat-trick, didn't he? And here's the thing about Trossard. When asked about, again, rumors, again, I forgot how the question was phrased, regarding a potential move to Chelsea Football Club, he basically, practically said, come get me. I really want to get there, go there. And I'm not sure how long he still have left on his contract. I think a year. He leaves on a free the coming season. I'm not sure. I'm not just gonna let me know. Please just gaslight you here. I'm not sure how long he has left on his contract. I'm gonna stick my neck out here and say yes. Wow, for Omari Hutchinson. Okay, let me believe you. That's refreshing to hear. But I want to know: has he always been training with the first team, or did he join them? Again, what I said before, because a number of youth players joined the first team, again, training sessions to make up numbers. Was that the case, or has he always trained with them even before the international break? I really do want to know. Again, Kepa beat a shaky, but I prefer to start Mendy against Milan. I beat shaky in what game? I really do want to know. Kepa is he was so calm on the ball yesterday that I got scared, actually. Kepa was off his line at one time, got the ball again, and I was afraid, what is he going to do with it? He actually found Havertz. He was off the 18-yard box. He was further forward, nearly in the center circle, off his line, he found Havertz with a pass. Again, even Potter sang him praises on his ability on the ball and his distribution. So I wouldn't say he didn't look shaky for me. He was actually better than most people give him credit for. I know, again, I have to say this, Steve, I think you're probably a bit, again, you could say biased. Yeah, I love Mendy too, but yeah, he has to sit out for a while. And Mendy hasn't done, Kepa hasn't done anything that you could say calls for him to be dropped to the bench. Hutchinson played a game yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, the youth game. He plays for them. He's played a few games with them. Again, have a good feeling about him. I hope so, and that would be a good one to see him start cooking with a senior team for us. That will make Arsenal fans cry whenever they see him. Also, Chilwell again beat a shaky. Yeah, he was. That wasn't the best we've seen from Ben Chilwell. You could argue because he played in the left back position, not the left wing back position. His chances of venturing forward, were limited yesterday, and you could argue it was down to the manager's preferred approach. I think it was a cautious approach, and I think had Thomas Tuchel done things like that, being a bit cautious after international break, we wouldn't have played lost games after international breaks. And I think Pott's priority yesterday was just not to lose the game because he knew a lot of the players he wanted to start traveled. So I wouldn't say shaky. It wasn't, again, maybe he started, again, he didn't do that well during the first 15, 20 to 25 minutes, but he grew into the game, defended very well, which you could argue the approach called for. Joined the international break and kept on when the main players came back. Oh, so maybe the manager wants to see the more of him. So thank you for that update, Glenn. I really do appreciate that. That makes sense. Now, again, Hazard has made use enough money already and made us enough money already, and he's suffering now at Madrid. I would like to see him at home before he is useless. At home, indeed, Chelsea is home for Hazard, but it remains to be seen whether Potter would want to have him back. Hazard coming back to me, I'm not concerned about his behavior. Again, as much as I've heard the argument from his teammates that he's not the best trainer, but again, the fact that Chelsea is home for him trumps every other concern. Again, I think he looks leaner, he looks fitter than he's looked in the past year, and I think, but the whole thing comes down to what Graham Potter and what the club wants to do, which one cannot be sure right now. So good one there against Milan. Don't you think we need a Mendy? Milan shoot outside the box, top corners. Having you seen Kepa stop top corner before? Was it against Zagreb or against Salzburg? He stops top corner shots. That's one thing you should also. Again, enough of this complaint about Mendy being taller. What we're looking at is the goalkeepers, their overall form. And I'd be surprised, honestly, if Potter drops Kepa to the bench. Again, I think we're just judging him from a one-off thing. How many times has he considered from outside the 18, actually, compared to Mendy? If you want to go into that again. But that's why it says Hutchinson, again, is of Jamaican heritage, and we currently trying to get him to play for our Jamaican national team. Yeah, that reminds me of a lot of players in Nigerian FA are trying to get to play for the Nigerian national team. But they usually decide to play for England, or maybe if they see that their chances of playing for England, again, the chance of playing for England is very slim. That's when they decide, okay, I'm going to play for Nigeria. What do you guys think? Again, Koulibaly, Potter dropped him for 2 games. I know it's just 2 games, but what do you think? I'm not concerned. He's a 40 or 35 million plus pounds signing. Plus, he's a good player, and I think it depends on the structure that Potter wants to deploy. I think he's going to end up being the most likely more of a rotational player with Thiago Silva than he'd be playing on the left-hand side, in the left-hand back position in a 3 at the back formation. But we'll see. Again, what we said yesterday during the pre-game show is this. We don't have so much to work with in terms of trying to predict what Potter does. We don't have enough. if you want to call it the sample size, we don't have enough sample, or we don't have a pattern yet. In the case of Thomas Tuchel, at one point we were able to correctly predict this lineup. If anything, you'll be one player off getting it correctly. But on the ground, Potter, you just can't. Right now, we don't have enough. We don't have a pattern to work with to be able to predict his preferred lineup. So let me put up the poll for Aubameyang before I continue getting what we have in the chat. Aubameyang rating. Let me see. I'd really would like us to end this game as soon as possible so we can all go watch the Manchester United game. I wanted to do a watch along for everyone, but unfortunately I have to go take care of something. Again, Aubameyang rating, I'm going to start with a 7.5. Which I know it's going to be better than that. 8.5. A 9, maybe I'd want 9.5. No 10 there. Again, that's by the way, again, I'll wait for your response to see how we rate Aubameyang. I'll wait for you. Here we have, again, will Koulibaly be fit? Yeah, he fits in. He fits in Porter's system, but it's just that, again, Thiago Silva's influence in this team is so strong that whenever he's in playing, he's not a midfielder, he's not an attacker, but whenever he isn't playing, you could sense that something is really missing. He's able to control the game from the defensive area. It all comes down to his intelligence, reading the game, knowing where to go with the ball. For instance, yesterday, again, I'm repeating myself, but because that's the fact I had to. Again, he made more vertical passes than our midfielders did from a deep the back line. So that's how important he is at this team. So, yeah, but again, Koulibaly fits into that role because he's good at making vertical passes too. Plus, I think Koulibaly's comments that he isn't quite ready, he needs time to adapt to the Premier League, to the team very, very well. I think that also leaves room for the manager to be easily drop into the bench, given the player himself is already making the excuses for himself. But that doesn't mean Koulibaly won't get to play. He will play quite a lot of games this coming season. And the games are coming in thick and fast. Thiago Silva won't get to play. Again, we'll see quite a lot of rotation there if we want to do well. If we don't, players will burn out. I think he will. Again, Aubameyang 8 or 4 came so. We'll see what those in the chat. The 3% thinks is 7.8. Let me see the overall rating for Aubameyang here. Oh, my goodness. It's all 33% each. Okay, now 43% for 8.5. We'll see. Let me leave it there so I get more sample there. Koulibaly needs a game time. Kachila, that's the truth. He should have come on as a sub yesterday and rest Thiago Silva. Maybe because the plan will be to play him in the next game. I think he will be all right. I'm not worried about him. He will play game. Again, it was Anthony. Again, he wouldn't. Who would have given the Thiago Silva a red card? There's a chance if it was Anthony Taylor that could have happened. Auba was great yesterday with that brilliant turn and shoot. I saw a piece of a Drogba in Auba, a Drogba-esque if you prefer. Again, it was a good finish, and again he expected the ball to come from Thiago Silva, but then again that intelligence from Thiago Silva to get the ball to him with that header. You can't take that away from the man. Again, that comes down to the player's intelligence. It's not by mistake. It was by design. He knew exactly what he was doing, and he found Auba, who then again missed from that range. Even though he had had his back to the post. Again, please like and subscribe when you enter if you have not, as it helps the channel reach again a wider audience. Yes, people, again, keep liking the video. Thank you so much for all the support. I cannot thank you guys enough. 42 likes. If we can get it to 50 by the time the show ends, I'd really appreciate that. We don't have too many people watching, but it's been a brilliant show. We've gained a few subscribers. Fofana growing into the game step by step. I love it. Yes, again, he's a ball carrying defender, and he showed that yesterday. Our midfielders were reluctant to move with the ball. He did. Again, you can say our defenders did better than our attackers, unfortunately, except for what's his name? Except for Aubameyang, the starting attackers. Let's phrase it that way. Again, thank God that Anthony Taylor wasn't the referee. Thank God, indeed. And for Aubameyang, 56% things, and that's 9 votes, so it's a good sample size. So I'm going to go with 8.5, well, a deserved rating for him. Okay, 8.5 for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, a deserved rating for him. He was good. His overall play, the fact that he dropped deep to come participate in the play, I loved that. So now let's go for Sterling. Give me a second. Raheem Sterling rating. Again, he looked tired yesterday, not just awful. He looked tired. I'm going to start with, I don't want to be bad. Let me just start with 6.5. Go with a 7.5. As much as I like him, go with 8. Let me stop there. And I'm going to plug in the other players that the substitute players. Again, we'll have to rate them too. Captain America did his job. Again, a fine and a good idea to find Conor Gallagher when he tried to dribble his way to face the goalkeeper. When he didn't see the space, he found Conor Gallagher, who was bent on finding the net, back of the net, and he did. So let me get this here in a bit. I want to look at this to plug in to be sure I got it correctly, who came in for who, and plug it in appropriately. Let me see. I'm looking at it here while I wait for you to do your ratings. Again, as you're coming in, please like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'm going to try for us to round off soon so that those of us that wanted to go watch the game will go watch it. Yeah, there you go. So here, Loftus-Cheek, he came in for Jorginho. So we're going to do this here. Substitute. RFC. We have to rate you. And Amanda Broya for Aubameyang. Broya for Aubameyang. And that was in the 75th minute. And Gallagher for Kai Havertz in the 76 minutes. Gallagher here. Yep. And the Captain America for Mason Mount. Just on the 5 minutes, Christian Pulisic made a huge impact. Again, a huge respect for him. I hope he gets more chances on the, again, a manager. Again, it's a clean slate for everybody right now. Like under Thomas Tuchel, I really wanted him to leave because he didn't trust him and didn't give him enough chance. Mason Mount, again, he came in for Mason Mount in the 84th minute. Mason Mount, I thought, stayed longer than he should have. Him and Raheem Sterling. So here we have Pulisic. Okay, I think that's it for the boys that came in. So let's plug it in all in and see what the ratings from the people are. Okay, here we have again a 4. Who is this? Who's this guy here? Okay, Sterling 6.5. I know people actually expect me to put who gave Sterling 8. Wow. Okay, let me see where are the changes. Loftus-Cheek for Jorginho. Broya for Aubameyang. Let me show I'm correct. Yep, and then Mount, Christian Pulisic for Mount. 4 plays 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, again, I still argue Sterling shouldn't have finished that game, but I'll show you guys something else. The ratings they got from the Fortnite guys is very surprising to me. So again, for who Sterling was the rating again? 6.5 for Raheem Sterling here. 6.5. I'd rate him lower, but again, good shift from him. But no, the productivity again, he was awful. Decision making was so poor yesterday. I couldn't believe what I was watching, and that helps those that argue that Arsenal got the better player and we got the wrong guy. And again, people, thank you for 42 likes. If you haven't, take a second to like the video. If you haven't, I'm really not sure. Again, I'm seriously not sure how to rate Broya, but I'll leave it up to you guys to rate him. Broya rating. let me start from, again, a 6. It's not his fault that he came in late, a 6.5. I'll just stop it with a 6. Okay, let me just add one option there, 7. And I will take on your contribution on Broja as soon as possible. We'll have 2 more players to finish. I think we can still get it done so that people can go watch the game where it starts at 6 a.m. my time, which is in about 19 minutes. Jump onto the let me see anything else. Sterling, 8. Very poor yesterday. What? I'm not sure what you're saying there. Okay, let me see. Not the Sterling I know. He plays all games. I think maybe he needs a break too, but we'll see. Again, 6.5 is too much for Sterling yesterday. You can see the game. Fatigue is affected. Fatigue, you could say, or you could say jet lagged maybe because he traveled to. But no, they didn't travel. They played in England. So maybe, but he just seemed tired. I don't know. Again, fatigue is affecting him. We're overusing him. Maybe that's the case. He's played all the games. Again, that's why I am saying we need to get Hazard back again home so we can have some quality players to rotate. It's not. It doesn't. 6.5. Not 8. Okay, now I get it. Again, Broja 6. He can't late again. It's not enough time for him to impact the game. Important 3 points yesterday. Old Havertz, Kai Hart. Nice to see you, brother. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for finding the time to join. Again, if you're watching and you haven't, take a second to like the video and also do subscribe to the channel if you haven't. But we're still not, again, linking as a team. Yep, it was a disjointed performance. Not fluid at all. You could argue it was down to the new approach in terms of the formation. People say it's 4-2-2-2. Some think it's a 4-4-2. Maybe 4-4-2 defending and 4-2-2 attacking. It's just difficult to tell. But overall, if you paid attention, it was a more cautious approach. Given if you look at Reece James and Benchua, they did not venture forward that much. I think. Yep. Again, I'm waiting for a tiebreaker here. Okay, 50% of things. Again, Broja gets a 6, and that's 6 votes. I think. Let me just give him that 6. I think that's a good enough rating for him. Broja gets a 6. Okay, then we have Gallagher, the goal scorer there. What a delicious finish from the guy. Again, he came in, he had it in mind to make an impact, and he did. Again, mindset is everything. When he got that ball from Captain America, you can see he was bent on finding the space to shoot. And again, he didn't take a deflection. The way the ball dipped, had he taken a deflection, people say, oh, he was lucky, but it was with intent. Again, and it was a fine finish there. So let's go for Gallagher. Let's go for Gallagher rating. Let's see where you guys rate him. I'm going to start him very high because he got the winner first. I'm going to start him with a 7. Let me just start with 7.5, but I think he deserved better than that. And 8. 8.5. I'll add a 9 to it. So let's see your thoughts on what you think. Again, important 3 points overall. Again, he says, Old, again, your name again. Old Havertz, Sky Hart says, Mount didn't have a good game. Nope, not even close to a good game. But you can still see the industry, the pressing, but the productivity in terms of chance creation, getting in the box and trying to score, no, he didn't. Again, also, what the players needing to do many touches, just a shoot. Yeah, exactly. That was annoying. We were yelling at I and Ty yesterday. We were yelling at Raheem Sterling to shoot or just pass to somebody else. Don't take too much time trying to cut back in, cut back out. Again, it was annoying to watch. Really, again, Sterling had a good game. His decision making let him down. That alone, this poor decision making cancels everything. No matter how good of a game you had, I could have scored twice. Yep, you could argue that, but he looked fatigued, if you ask me. Again, I like the way how Potter is developing the side, though, but we needed to have better passes to the final third. I cannot wait to see Chukwuemeka start. I was expecting him to start. Unfortunately, again, we were told that he was ill. It wasn't even in the lineup. Again, he gets his chance. The games, a lot of games to play this weekend. The games are coming in thick and fast, so he gets his chance to start. And again, he would be a good player for us. We didn't pay that much money for him to go out on loan. I think, like during Potter's press conference, he made a very delicious comment, which says is the quality is there, the age doesn't matter, which means if you can produce, if you can perform, if selected, you get a chance to start. Again, and that to me means a lot. Again, so yeah, thank you for that comment again. Gallagher deserves 8.5 / he deserves it. You can see again the push, the energy he brought in. He changed the game. Him and Christian Pulisic changed the game. And kudos to Christian Pulisic again for, I think you can say the fact that he drove with the ball, trying to beat those guys. They were all drawn to him. That created a beautiful space for Gallagher to he only had one man to move the ball away from and find the space to shoot. Reece had Zaha in his pocket all game as well. I remember that argument, was it last season, that led to Zaha saying, referencing to the person that said that he had in his pocket, not me. Zaha, even a switch wings. Yep, that was true. I think somebody else pointed that out. Was it Glenn or Liam Lane? I think Reece did very well. But because he had that job to do, he ventured forward less. So I think, like I said again, that approach was a more cautious approach from Graham Potter. He didn't want us to concede. Again, yeah. Do you guys think starting Chukwuemeka on Wednesday could, again, after being out with an ailment, I don't think he starts. I think he probably will play the league game rather than the Champions League football. I don't know. That's me. The whole thing comes down to what Potter thinks. Yeah, again, this is why James is better than his ability to defend. Makes him better than Trent Alexander-Arnold. Again, yeah, I agree with you. It says Zaha had to switch side. He had to, yeah. Again, another point, great point there. Gallagher deserves 9, not 8.5. That goal had me shouting at the top of my voice. Yep, it was a delicious goal. Again, Arnold can score and assist, but cannot defend. James can do both. Yep, he can do all of them, which makes him different. 8.5 for Conor Gallagher. Yeah, maybe I can. And 9 is worth it because he won the game for us. But let's rate him as the people. It's democracy here. People says he deserves an 8.5. So let's give him 8.5. Again, people, keep liking the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I'd really appreciate that. Here it says, Reece James and Zaha had a little back and forth on Instagram. Wow, that'd be interesting to see. But again, like I just talked about Zaha, he seemed to be prone to responding to such comments. Again, like I told you, the last time such comments came up, he responded to Tappers and he had again, I don't want to say it here in his pocket, not me. I think that triggers him. But that's by the way. Now let's rate Captain America. Let's see what you think of him. Okay, here we have. Let me call him Pulisic. Call him his name. Pulisic rating. Yeah, let's say again, he deserves to start from 7.5 because he had an assist, and again, assist that led to the goal that got us to win. So it's deserved. 8, maybe stop at 8.5. Okay, let's see that. There you go. All right, up to you now. Again, let me see what else we have in the chat here. Again, Reece James, yep. John Port Entertainment, I bet Zaha wants to play for Chelsea. He probably wants to, but the opportunity then call it. We did speak to his camp according to the reports that were up there. Big up the Blues, big up Chilla, big up my brother. I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you here. Thank you so much for finding the time to join. That means a lot to me. Yes, people, keep liking the video. Let's get it to 100 by the time the show ends. We have just a few minutes to end because, again, people can go watch the game and take care of all the stuff they want to go take care of. Again, Zaha will be on a free January, so Reece and him might get a better acquaintance. Maybe, again, you don't know. The back and forth, I'm sure it's not abusive. Probably you updated Just Viola. You were the one that told us about it. Was it abusive? Was it more like a fight or more like just, more like banter exchange or something like that? And Kepa did some smart saves yesterday. his ball distribution is better than Mendy's as well. Again, interesting who Potter makes his number one. At this given recent form, and if if Kepa keeps up that form, it wouldn't make any sort of sense to drop him. Again, you don't drop goalkeepers like that, except if he starts underperforming. Again, look at factors you can say that Potter will value so much is his sweeper keeper abilities, to come off his line when you think, oh, we're considering the ball is over our back line, and boom, he's there. And his timing is inch perfect, if you want to phrase it that way. And you can say his distribution too. There was a time, again, I'm repeating this, and again, just because it's the fact I had to. He had the ball. He came off his line to help, make sure they don't score against it. He had the ball, and he picked out Kai Havertz. He didn't just boot it forward. He picked up Kai Havertz on the right flank. He's not good with the ball again. But I'm not going to go into the argument of who is better, Kepa or Mendy. Again, they all have what they can do better than each other. And again, if you look at Kepa's game of late, he's not the tallest, but you can say he's added something very critical to his game. He commands his area better than usual. Even though he has taller people in there fighting for the ball, he still comes up, jumps for it. Again, that's something he didn't show that much before. He's starting to show it, maybe because we have a new goalkeeper trainer, and he's added that to his game. And him adding that to his game makes a huge difference, because Mendy, as tall as he is of late, hasn't been commanding his area that much. He seemed to wait until a header comes in, and then he tries to stop the ball from a corner kick or from a dead ball, any sort of dead ball situation that comes to mind. So that's a huge plus. Again, on Mendy's side. Thank you very much, guys. Again, here we have Reese posted a picture of him and Zaha from the game with the pat. Look. Yeah, that's a good banter. I hope that's not. Yeah, I'll take offense to, but I will respond. I don't know how to respond to this. I have to be honest, it is hilarious. But thank you for explaining. I needed that laugh. I have to be honest with you. Pulisic 7.5 because of the assist. Yeah, again, it wasn't easy. He did quite well there. And again, hopefully he gets his chance, proves himself. And again, I'm going to repeat what I've said before and hope his dad stopped the tweeting and all of that. Again, it can come across. I don't think that will please the manager. Again, just be patient. If you get your chance, show what you can do. Make yourself undroppable, and the manager won't have no excuse to drop you. Steve can give them Ziyech and get Zaha. I think Ziyech still have something that none of the players in our team has. His chance creating ability, but of late, probably because of all those push off or to leave the club, or again the way he's played when he got the chance. I think it would take something special for him to start playing regularly again. If that happens, I'd take it, because he's one of the best shooters and passer of the ball in the team currently. Even though I wanted him to leave Chelsea. Wally Waldo, big up, bro. It's been a minute. Well, how have you been, brother? Let me know. I hope things are well with you. To be honest, I'd rather take a Trossard over. Oh yeah, that's no question. I haven't seen that question yet, but I'd take him over Zaha. To me, again, plus he's played on the ground, Potter. Maybe that will make his adaptation easier if we eventually get him. But from that comment he made, he practically said, "Come and get me." I think we'd eventually get him, and I want to see that happen. Zaha had to delete his last post. What was his last post? Probably he went over the line. Again, I've seen players banter like that, but again, some players you can say easily get bent out of shape when the opposition players banter them. Reece James, again, what he did is hilarious. Again, but I'd respond in another hilarious way. Something like, maybe, I don't know how it's to say what I would respond, but if he deleted his post, he probably went out of line. But I don't want to get into that. Let me see. I think I got an update from Just Viola, probably what the exchange was. I'll try to get to it in a bit. Let me see, what else do we have here? Mendy will be number one. We all took a quick to forget how Kepa crumbles under pressure. When did Kepa crumble under pressure? Look, let me be honest with you. I actually love Mendy. I know he's a good goalkeeper, but we must admit that something is off. Something is off. He's performed poorly of late. There's no question. And again, from the West Ham game to date, he averages a single mistake per game. And that's not me saying, I like him actually. That's not me saying he's not a good goalkeeper. Something is off. And when I even thought that things would change, again, the moment we signed Kalidou Koulibaly, but it didn't actually. So I don't know if you get my argument. My point is, again, if Kepa continues doing well, I don't see Potter just dropping him to the bench to accommodate Mendy. No, that's not how it's done. You go based on form, but we'll see what happens here again. But I get your argument. We're not Potter. We don't know what Potter. There's a chance he comes again. He decides to start to pick Mendy as the number one goalkeeper, first choice goalkeeper. But again, I really don't want to get into that. I agree with you, but again, we still need a depth in the squad and players that's willing to fight from the bench also, and will be a great player to rotate. Again, we need more than one quality player in each position, so whoever comes in will help us do need depth in the midfield, to be honest. Yeah, we don't have depth there, seriously. That's a good point there, Wally. Again, but not up front, especially when reports are saying Nkunku is coming to Chelsea. I will not hold my breath on that for obvious reasons. Again, Nkunku just extended his stay at Leipzig, right? At Leipzig. And there's a buyout clause, and that the buyout clause isn't actually active yet. So he had the medical. Someone can have a medical and then boom, get injured. Except if you come to an agreement with the club, okay, if he break his leg, it's still your responsibility. We don't want that anymore. Again, we don't want if anything happens, you still think he's still gonna pay us our money, but it hasn't gotten to that. It hasn't really. So, but we're not gonna get into that right away. Let's see what we have here. Again, Reece James is showing what a little bit of Jamaican DNA can do. He has that feisty behavior in him, that banter behavior in him, but sometimes he overdoes it. He risks getting unnecessary red card again when he shouldn't. Again, I think as he matures, you will see less and less of that unnecessary, feistiness from him. I've been working, bro. Work's been hectic. I understand. Work is important. Bills don't pay themselves. Again, the show isn't a priority and it isn't an obligation. We come here together to enjoy and talk about a club we love so much. So thank you again. A good thing to know that you're well and it's work. Smash the like button, people. Again, 2 more to get it to 50. 50 would do because we don't have too many people watching. I appreciate that. Again, our problem with Mendy is his distribution and his footwork. Again, I think he isn't really that bad with his footwork. I think something is off of late. I don't know if I should call it lack of proper concentration or something like that. Again, he's a good goalkeeper, but without good distribution, he won't get better. And he seemed to have, lacked, he doesn't command his area like he did when he nearly signed for us. That stopped, and I just don't know why. He says again, now Kepa's distribution is miles better than Mendy's. Again, that's the truth. The same Kepa who passed the ball to Mane, he's not perfect. Even the best goalkeepers in the world. But the thing is, Kepa hasn't had consistent howlers, consistent mistakes. Even Neuer, you've seen Neuer's mistakes, you laugh. Alisson, you see that. The Man City goalkeeper, you will see them make such mistake, but the problem is it's averaging at least a single mistake per game. That's a risk for a team that play out from the back. Nkunku has behind door medical done. That's one language I don't understand too. An agreement with Chelsea, so I think we will see him in January. I hope so. But again, it's not done, which means other clubs can still come in. Kepa gives away ball too. Yeah, they do. Steve, stop the fight, please. I honestly think his confidence is low. That's all. Maybe that's the case. And sometimes you need to find a way to discipline the player to get them to refocus. And you can argue Thomas Tuchel did not do that. Again, people are starting to live for the game, so we're going to end as soon as possible. Pulisic rating, I think probably 7.5. A deserved rating. Again, it wasn't easy for him to make that chance for us. So 7.5. I'm going to do that. Who was Ruben Loftus-Cheek? That's the final one. After rating Ruben Loftus-Cheek would call it a day. So let me get your rating for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. RLC rating. I was surprised he didn't start that game because he didn't travel. I'll start with a 5. I'll start with a 5.5. He had more than enough game to again, but again, I don't blame him because my argument was that deploying him centrally, especially the structure, didn't help. He was lost. Maybe if you want to face it that way, 6.5. Let me just add a 7 for the sake of it. So I wait. The moment we're done that one, yeah, exactly. Again, here I hope Man U loses. Yes, I hope they lose. Because if they lose, then we have more chances of making it to the top 4 because we're practically neck and neck right now. But there's something I want to show you guys just quickly, an update from Just Viola. I want us all to see. Just give me a second. Let me open it. I think it makes sense. And then by the time we're done going through that one, okay, we have 1. Yep, that one there. I like it. And we have, again, I have to open another one there. 2 windows probably. Just give me a second, people. I'll wait for your vote. Ruben Loftus-Cheek any input there? Yeah, I'm here in Milan. They want Pulisic too, and they also want Hakim Ziyech. But I honestly don't see Chelsea letting Christian Pulisic go. But I think it all comes down to Potter. I would want us to keep him as a good player. And he seemed to be a little less injury prone these days. He's managed his fitness very well. I hope he's not. Again, he only would push for a leave to leave if from now to January he doesn't get a good enough game. He'll probably push to leave the club. But I don't want that to happen. And I think the owners wouldn't want that to happen too. He's a good player. Plus, he means more. Again, business-wise, and for the US fan base, he means a lot. For the club. So let me quickly open what I wanted to share it, then take the final rating for Ruben Loftus-Cheek so we can go watch the game. And sorry for holding you guys here. I know a lot of people want to go watch the game again, but if you haven't liked the video, just 2 more likes off before we get it to 200 likes. Again, 50 likes, so to speak. All right, I think it's about time we look at the update from Just Viola, and thank you so much for finding the time to send us that update. I cannot thank you enough. 1 second. The rating here, it looks like a 6.5 will be the rating for who was that again? Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Again, he seemed lost. Again. What do you say? Haaland a hat-trick again today. I'm calling it. Okay, I wouldn't be surprised. That guy is a machine. Well, you could say this. He could score with his butt too. But I want him to get injured. No, that's not nice, man. Oh my goodness, that's hilarious. 2 more likes, guys. Yes, to get it to 50 likes, we need to get it there as soon as possible. It's just again another way. Let me see if I've seen that. Okay, let's talk about this right now. Let's talk about this. There you go. Here, I'm gonna do this F11 2 again. Zoom out here. Again, as you can see, let me zoom out properly more. Okay, there you go. Again, it says Zaha again dropping digs on Instagram about Reece James, now deleted. Again, it says he's absolutely rattled. Again, clout a hell of a draw. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Again, there's another one. That's hilarious there. One more here. Okay, there you go. Where's I'm looking? The images didn't really show everything, or did I over zoom out? Okay, Wilfred Zaha hit back at Reece James on Instagram before quickly deleting his post. Yeah, probably he went over the line. James and Zaha clashed on social media after Chelsea beat Crystal Palace. Let me see again. I want to see the images. It doesn't seem like the images should have been part of this. but it doesn't happen more. Did I miss it? Just give me a second. I'm going to look for it anyway. If I missed it, I don't know. I'm going to check. I didn't see any images there. Probably not showing. Okay, just give me a second. Let me move this here, come back here. All right, 6.5 for 55%, 6.5 for Loftus-Cheek. Well, it's a good rating. 6.5. I'm seeing. Yep. Okay. Let me see if I can see the Zaha images, and I'll share it with you guys. Yeah, it didn't really show much of the images because Zaha, again, deleted it again. But that's, by the way, guys, again, I want to say thank you to everyone that's found the time to join the show. You're right back. Again, a yellow after 1 minute. United right back, a yellow after 1 minute. Right back, right back. Who exactly is starting there for them today? I haven't checked the lineup. Again, I want to say thank you to everybody who's found the time to join the show today. It's been a brilliant show. I cannot thank you guys enough. Again, I like reading your comments, and thank goodness I have time enough to read all your comments, mostly all your comments, again, except if you have a conversation with someone else. I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you to Jump Out Entertainment. Thank you to Liam Lane for helping keep the house civil. And thank you to, again, Button Lambeka. Did we not? Oh, Reece James, one more rating. Did we rate it and I did not add it? Wow, just one more rating, and nobody in the chat reminded me. Thank you so much, Lambeka, for that. So let's do James. That's what happens when you do everything yourself using so many screen. James rating. Okay, I'm going to start with 7.5. Yeah, you can say he got the job done like the manager wanted him to. 8.5. Yeah. Yeah, let's just 7.5, between 7.5 and 8.5. He got the job done, but it wasn't the best of performances in terms of, again, him going forward. Let's see what else we have here. Again, a United right back. Who's playing that position for them? Okay, Dalot. Oh, okay. What's his first name again? Is it Diego Dalot? Yellow card. Okay. Thanks, Kuchula. Oh no, more thanks to you, brother, for listening in. I can appreciate that. Up the Chelsea, yes, up the Chelsea. And again, cheers for the stream. Have a nice Sunday, YouTube, brother. I appreciate you finding time to join in and keeping the house civil. And take care, everyone. Yep, again, just be all of the queen of the house. Thank you for finding the time to join to help keep the house clean. Yes, Reece James 7.5. James 10? No, I wouldn't give him a 10 in that game. Again, thank you. And yeah, well spotted. He caught something. It's Kami. Thank you so much for finding the time to join and helping keep the house clean. Got to go. Now, big up, Pichula, big up to you too. So James, 8.5. Wow, okay. I'm just going to give it to him and the people there. 8.5, I don't think it changed. 8.5 for James. So thank you very much, guys. Again, with that, we've come to the end of the show. I want to say thank you to everyone. The queen of the house, again, Liam Lin, one of the captains of the house. It's Kami, one of the captains, Mikhail. Thank you very much, brother. King A, Button Lambeka, thank you for catching that. It's Kami, everyone else. I cannot thank you guys enough. Thank you for it. Has been a brilliant show and a brilliant contribution from those in the chat. Thank you. See you guys next time. God bless us all, and bye.